have this another day, all of us here in good health. As we proceed for the second day of the 6th Technical University of Mombasa Multidisciplinary Conference and Innovation Week. Can you do something about the mic? So kindly, can I have a volunteer to have a prayer here? Yes, madam.
Good morning, my name is Bula Kioko. I am a part-time lecturer here as well as a student. So let us bow our heads and pray. Heavenly Father, this morning we want to glorify your name for your presence. Thank you, Lord, for bringing us, Lord, in this conference. I pray that, Lord, you are going to take over everything and you are going to enable all the participants and presenters, God, so that, Lord, we may be in the same spirit. We bless your name, and as we start, God, be with us, continue with us, and Lord, let us see your goodness at the end of the day. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Thank you. You want to say something, Miss BBA? As before we allow our keynote speaker come, we give you like 2-3 minutes.
Good morning once again. Day 3, and we're looking forward to have nice opportunities in terms of learning, in terms of networking, in terms of creating contacts. So I don't have much to say, only that yesterday we finalized our hackathon competition for Web3 developers, and they were awarded. Today we will have a final robotics competition at the back of the assembly hall. So at around 10:30 or 11, so you can come and see the exciting robotics league or competition. We have our high school visitors from Aldina and Hamisi Boys and TUM. So we welcome you all. And then also today from 11, we'll have an entrepreneurship session. So all innovators, exhibitors, aspiring entrepreneurs, please join to get tips on how you can grow your business, on how you can convert your idea to an innovative solution, to a viable product it's in the market. So I'll welcome you all. Please don't miss out. Thank you. So as they prepare to invite our keynote speaker, we have a presentation from our young boys from Hamisi Boys High School. They have their idea that they want to present.
Kindly, the controller there, can you give the rights to Professor Julius Manyala? Okay. Control this sound.
Check one, two.
Okay, Professor Julius Otieno Manyala holds a PhD in fisheries and aquatic sciences from the University of Eldoret, an MSc in hydrobiology from the University of Nairobi, and a BSc from University of Pune in India. He has a vast experience in fisheries and aquaculture. He has worked in various institutions. His first employer was Kemfree, and now he's an employee of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology. He's currently the Director Research, Innovation and Extension. So we'll allow Professor Julius Otieno Manyala to do the keynote speech. Thank you. Prof, you can proceed. You can start. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Are you able to see the slides?
No?
Let me reshare. Thank you.
Give him the rights to share. Okay.
I have the rights. Okay. You are able to see the slides now?
They're coming up. Professor Manyala will be talking about creative digital economy and entrepreneurship in Kenya. We can see
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chair. I'm happy to join this important conference. And I want to make a presentation on creative digital economy and entrepreneurship in Kenya. This is a very contemporary topic which has seen a lot of development and progress in terms of our daily business. As has been said, my name is Professor Julius Manyala, and I work for Jaramogi Oginga University of Science and Technology. Going forward, I want to give you the outline of my presentation. I will be introducing the creative digital economy, a bit of understanding the creative digital economy. I will then talk about some insights, then growth of the sector or subsector, and some key sectors that we have developed in the country in terms of creative digital economy. I want also to start by saying that the creative digital economy has shaped all the daily lives of people and businesses in this country. And also it has done this not only in Kenya, but also globally. Digital transformation of business environment has taken place over the last 10 to 20 years with great impacts on the issue of business environment and economy. In the 21st century, this is a sector that is believed to be creating jobs, especially for the youth who are highly ICT savvy. It has space for a lot of innovations due to the opportunities in development of codes, in development of mobile apps, and all the software you can think of. Again, it has improved our efficiency in doing business, not unlike the 70s when we used to walk literally to the bank 50 kilometers away only to withdraw a few coins. One of the challenges we need to address is that, is this creative digital economy really creating wealth for us, or we are consumers of this technology? And that could be a point for discussion in the future. How is creative economy, digital economy affecting our lives? We know that this is an activity that involves a lot of interconnections among the people, the businesses, devices that we use, and there are diverse devices we use in digital economy, as well as the interconnected data that speaks to this creative economy. This is a combination of technology, creativity, innovation, and business environment. One of the key focus of the creative digital economy is the use of different platforms that are available in all sectors of life, businesses, and social fabrics. The digital economy encompasses a number of industries. I've just listed a few. It is not limited to this. There would be much more than we can think of. And in almost every sphere of life, you can now use the digital space. I want to give you some insights on this creative digital economy. And you can see that it is related a lot to the internet penetration. By the standards we use for determining this internet penetration, Kenya has a 90% internet penetration, which gives great opportunities for even rural communities to engage in the creative digital economy. We know that in Kenya, we have almost 46 million users of the internet, and estimated that this digital economy contributes about 1.2 trillion to the GDP. But also in terms of the benefits that we get in terms of revenues, it stands at about 212 million. It is projected that in the future, maybe the next 5-6 years, the contribution of creative digital economy will stand at about 662 billion. and also create a number of jobs. Maybe 300,000 are few, but well, this sector is growing exponentially, and maybe we'll have more than 1 million jobs created from this sector. I want to show you how this has happened based on just one or two examples with, for example, Safaricom. We can see that the last 10 years, the volumes of transaction in Safaricom has increased exponentially, and it now stands at about 36, that it stood at 36 to 40 trillion in terms of transaction. And if we have to follow this trend, then it is believed that the sector or subsector will grow to about 160 trillion in the next 5 to 6 years. And this can be projected assuming that this trend will continue without any risks arising from the region, politically, economically, or socially. We look at some of the growth areas in this digital entrepreneurship, and we know that this growth has been fueled by mobile technology, which has grown tremendously and is accessible to almost everybody in Kenya. We have a lot of social media which promote businesses, and even though their initial intention was networking, but there are a lot of advertisements, business opportunities being streamed in this social media. We also have the e-commerce platforms, which have become a commonplace in this country. Internationally, we know that Kenya has been a leader with examples of the M-Pesa, with the Trigger Foods, which is a digital platform for farmers in terms of connections, in terms of retailing, in terms of supply chains, and in terms of goods and services. We have Brighter Monday, another innovation that is a leading job platform for those who are skilled. And also we have Wozi, a tech-driven marketing platform, which allows the youth to earn from the digital space. I want to look at some of the specific service providers and outfits that we have in this sector. Everybody knows about Jumia, which is an e-commerce platform established in 2012. This is a platform that allows specific transactions, goods, and services with over 5,000 vendors registered in the platform by 2017. Now it is believed that this number has doubled, and we almost have 30,000 users registered in this platform. It is one of the African tech startups that is listed in the New York Stock Exchange. So you can see the impact that our digital space and creative digital economy is creating globally. We also know that there are more than the digital economy contributes more than 7% to our GDP, and it is projected that it will grow by about 15% every year. And this is not a small sector, if you will see by the figures that we'll be presenting here. We have also Kilimall, which is also a digital transaction platform for e-commerce, and it offers a wide range of products in the market which you can buy online, and it can be delivered with connection from different logistic suppliers. This platform is expanding it is already in Uganda, and it has moved to Nigeria. It is a cash on delivery platform where customers pay when they actually receive the goods, and that creates a lot of trust in these transactions. We look at Sky Garden, which again is an e-commerce platform, and reported almost 400% month-on-month growth when it started. It has a basket size of about 39 million US dollars. The platform has risen tremendously. It had a lot of challenges, but by now, in 2022, it was purchased by another company that has made it to realize almost 250 million Kenya shillings in startups and e-commerce and transactions. We look at Masoko, which was launched by Safaricom, and this has over 200 vendors with over 20,000 products, and again, ranging from a variety of goods that you can buy online. This is one of the platforms that is closely linked to M-Pesa because it has the same ownership, and it makes it easy with the logistic companies to timely deliver the goods and services which are purchased on this platform. The PesaPal is one of the products that we have, which is a financial platform, and this is offering a lot of online payment gateways, both mobile payment and point of sale systems. When you go to supermarkets, you can see that you are purchasing from a wide variety of financial institutions are able to purchase using this gateway. Whether you are from any of the banks, you are still able to use the same platform to make your transactions. And this platform is linked now with both Safaricom, MasterCard, and Visa, which makes it an almost global entity with expansion into Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Zambia. This platform has raised almost $1 million in funding to improve its platform and expand to other areas in the region. Flutterwave is also one of the companies which was created in Kenya, in Nigeria, but has presence in Kenya and most of the East African countries. This, again, as you can see, has raised over 235 million in multiple funding rounds and has linked with the other partners like PayPal, Alipay, WeChat, which is Chinese, and serves in over 20 African countries. A transaction of 9 billion annually, making it one of the biggest fintech platforms and service providers globally. One advantage with this fintech platform is that it can transact in almost 150 currencies across the world. We move to Cellulant, which was founded in 2004, one of the oldest. It is a payment system that is designed for Africa. It has a transaction volume of almost $10 billion and is also linking with many international companies that offer financing solutions. It has now networks in East Africa with M-Pesa, Airtel Money, and MTN Mobile Money in Uganda. It has now partnered with Visa also to enhance its digital payment system. And as you can see, we are talking of billions of shillings and billions of dollars in this financial technology platforms and outfits. Now, what are the trends? The trends is that the total volume of, for example, mobile money transactions in Kenya reached almost 8.7 trillion in 2022. And it is believed that this has risen to almost 40 trillion in terms of transactions if you take all the mobile digital money payment systems. It is projected that it will grow by 5.7 in 2024, which is last year. So by now, it is good to take stock of how much has happened in the last 1 year. We expect that this financial technology startups will contribute about 50% of the Kenya's adult population having access to financial services, transactions, and tools. There are also equivalent investment over the years with almost 2 billion of funding every year in terms of digital financial solutions across the continent. There is increased adoption in business For example, we now have the mobile wallets, the digital payment systems that support a lot of SMEs to access new markets as well as to access financial services. We expect that 70% of the SMEs have been using digital payment systems, and this contributes to the digital economy. You can bear me witness that at the moment, you can pay for almost anything using M-Pesa transactions, including even vegetables in markets. We have digital lending platforms, which is another financial service that we have, which is based on digital economy. And these are microloans through mobile apps, which almost everybody can access. Tala, from the records, has issued almost 2 billion in loans since it was launched. It has almost 6 million customers in Kenya alone, but globally it has over 10 million users. The range of financing and loans you can acquire from this platform is ranging from 500 to almost 30,000. Now you can see the product is meant for both very low level income earners and medium incomers, median income earners, and this makes it accessible to many of the rural communities. It is believed that this has given us an alternative method of financing some of our activities. It has created some alternative credit scoring techniques based on artificial intelligence and the history of use in the digital space, including both computerized systems and mobile digital systems. We are looking at the branch, which is also a lending platform. And as you can see, these platforms are barely 10, 15 years old. And many of them have large volumes of transactions, like Branch has disbursed over 250 million in loans across Africa. It operates in Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria, and it has also over 2 million customers in Kenya alone by 2020. Probably now it could have even doubled. What is the range of financial services? 1,000 to 70,000. Repayment period is usually 1 to 6 months, makes it appealing to many low-income earners and expands the accessibility to finance by many people. It charges an interest of between 5 to 15%, depending on the loan term. And again, these are issues that are still subject to a lot of regulatory and legal considerations. This platform has raised over 200 million in funding and has expanded its services across Africa. And as I've said with others, they use artificial intelligence powered credit scoring system, which is more unique than the normal appraisal done by mainstream financial institutions such as banks and microfinance institutions. There is also no requirement for security when you take this online digital lending platforms. We have M-Shwari, which everybody knows, and this allows people to both save money and borrow money without actually having a formal banking system. There's no need to have a bank account, and this platform has also issued over 300 billion in loans since it was launched. Its current portfolio is about 60 billion per year. So that means that if you consider for the time it has been operating, 2012 up to now, you can see that it has substantial impact on the economic and financial market. It has over 30 million active users. And again, you can see the range of lending is between 100 to 50,000. This makes the loan quite accessible to many people. I can move to the next one, which is the trends. How has this industry grown? The digital lending platform. The digital lending platform has now been able to avail and disburse almost 50 billion Kenya shillings in loans annually through the most popular platforms like Tala, Branch, and M-Shwari. But you have other minor operators which also contribute significantly to this the digital financial market and lending platforms. The advantage of these financial digital lending sectors is that they are quite inclusive, because many people with very little money can still save and borrow money from these platforms. They therefore appeal so much to the underserved populations. They appeal to the youth, and mostly rural women who have small businesses can be able to access loans without having formal credit histories, securities, or without having banking infrastructure. What you need is a mobile phone and a good network, and you're good to go. These platforms offer alternative credit scoring, which is not typical of the mainstream banking sectors. Therefore, everybody can be able to access depending on your mobile and social media activity. There is mobile money integration. The mobile phones are integrated with the lending platforms, and this makes it easier for people to use without having to move physically to a physical location to access credit. There are issues of regulation and challenges. The sector is actually faced with a lot of regulations. For example, how do we regulate the interest rates in these mobile money transactions? Because it is also difficult to enforce these restrictions. There is also a risk of being indebted, because people can borrow very easily, and therefore you can end up with a lot of a lot of debts which you cannot be able to pay. There are issues of regulations based on the financial management legislations, especially from central bank, which has tried to regulate digital lenders and try to regulate the overexploitation of the borrowers. There's challenges how to promote responsible lending from these institutions and the behavior change in the borrowers. Now, the other sector is the cryptocurrency adoption in Kenya. We know that this, again, is something that is very difficult to regulate, but Kenya is one of the countries that is ranked fourth, actually, as the most cryptocurrency-friendly country globally. It uses peer-to-peer transaction volumes, which is a key factor in the amount of users that you have in these platforms. There are over 5.5 million Kenyans who own cryptocurrency, and this is quite a big number. And the main currencies are Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, which has become accessible even on mobile devices and several online platforms. The transactions that we are talking about are on the platforms that are provided by other service providers like Paxful and local Bitcoins. This facilitates transactions in Kenya shillings so that you don't actually have to deal in dollars. And this makes it very easy for people to buy and sell in these platforms. Now, we have a blockchain technology usage in Kenya, and there are good examples of this kind of technology based on digital space. This is a ledger that records transactions across many users, many computers. It is very secure. It is also transparent, and you cannot interfere with it easily. So this blockchain has been demonstrated. For example, our own Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization launched this blockchain platform, which was able to trace the products, was able to monitor the supply chain, and was able to verify where the products came from in terms of their security and safety. And this was working very well for both local and export markets. I also want to mention that as being in the fishery sector, there is a traceability system that was developed by the European Union for all fish exported from Kenya to the EU. And this as a barcoding system that has an online traceability that can be monitored on real time. Several other companies have managed to integrate their blockchain technology for trading, for payments, and product traceability, like I've mentioned. The Kenya government has then realized the need for this technology and has developed the national blockchain strategy, as well as the Kenya Blockchain and Artificial Intelligence Policy, which is aimed at exploring the use of this technology, digital technology, in many public sector life, such as service delivery, land registry, and digital transactions. And now everybody know that many of the payments are made through the eCitizen. The blockchain land registry, I've mentioned it. It makes it very easy, transparent, and reduces the transaction time and fraud. We have a number of blockchain digital products, including tokenization of assets, where this is a digital asset which you can trade like any other asset, like the BitPesa or the other finance. The amount of transactions that we have realized in this country ranges in terms of $1 billion US since it was conceived in 2013. And we are talking of just 10 years, and you can see the amount of transactions that we are talking about. Now, the cryptocurrency trading platforms and exchange in Kenya, there are several local currency exchanges, which include the BitPesa, Kiberium, Kenosha Crypto, and Luno. These are some of the popular exchange platforms that allow you to trade in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, and all cryptocurrencies. The Luno, for example, platform launched this Bitcoin ATM in Nairobi, which allows users to actually buy and sell Bitcoins in Kenya shillings. So the need for accessing or buying dollars is being reduced by these creative digital platforms and outfits. We have global exchanges, one of which is Binance and Coinbase, which have expanded their presence into Kenya with a lot of active participation in public education, both on how to go about trading, buying, and selling cryptocurrencies. We have the regulatory challenges which I've mentioned. In 2015, central bank prohibited banks from processing cryptocurrency transactions. However, as we became globalized, by 2019, this ban was lifted. And this allowed the tremendous growth in peer-to-peer crypto transactions in the country. We have some recent developments with the Capital Markets Authority announcing its need or its intention to regulate cryptocurrency trade in the country. Kenya is now working towards this regulatory framework, which I believe will be able to streamline the risks that are imminent in the digital finance space. We have challenges with the taxation. The Kenya Revenue Authority expressed its intention to tax cryptocurrency profits. Again, this has not been implemented, but there's no formal system or structure to actually tax cryptocurrency profits and income. So these are the challenges we still have to deal with, and hopefully we'll be able to address them in the near future. Everybody knows about Bitcoin, but there are many more other currencies, cryptocurrencies that can be used in the country. I've mentioned Ethereum and Tether USDT. The advantage of Tether USDT is that it is a stable coin, a stable digital currency. That means one USDT is equivalent to $1 throughout its lifespan. So the value of the currency does not change even when the exchange rate fluctuates. It means that your trade is secured in terms of the profits you can make. You don't lose because there's no fluctuations in the value of your cryptocurrency. What are the key statistics of cryptocurrency trade in Kenya? I'm looking briefly at 2021 to 2023. The total volume of trade was about $20 million in Bitcoin transactions in 2021. There's been a tremendous growth of up to 25% year over year from 20 to 21, and this is an indication of what kind of volumes of finances we are dealing with. The blockchain projects has also grown in the terms of sectors like agriculture, land registry and finance, and has been demonstrated. We have figures that demonstrate the tremendous growth in this creative digital economy. Lastly, I want to talk about some of the potential policy regulations for a thriving digital economy. One of the options that we have in terms of policy is expanding the broadband access to underserved regions. If we have a good regulatory mechanism of knowing how this creative digital economy is operating, then we can expand it into many of the underserved regions which do not have formal financing and banking infrastructure, but have good mobile network. We need to promote digital literacy so that people know which equipment to use and how to transact using these digital platforms. For example, or for mostly for the youth who are very keen on making livelihoods through some of these transactions, and they can act as service providers or entrepreneurs. I would like to recommend that we need to encourage public-private partnerships, which facilitates collaboration between some of these platform owners, some of the startups, so that people can access finance without having to go through the formal appraisal in commercial and microfinances. Lastly, we need to develop favorable regulatory environment so that we have policies that support the creative digital economy so that we can promote entrepreneurship in this subsector. I want to thank you so much for listening, and I would like to welcome any questions that you may have. Thank you. Chair, back to you.
put your camera on so that we can see you, appreciate whom we have been listening to?
Yes, let me try that. Good, there you are.
Thank you, Prof. That was a very good presentation. I hope you can hear me from your end.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Professor Manyala.
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Proceed.
Yeah, that was a very good presentation. I actually like your work. However, I just have some few questions. Question number one, you have talked about digital economy, and I was wondering how data science can actually take advantage in this digital economy. And my last question, there is a lot of buzzword in the digital space regarding AI. So how can AI also leverage in the digital economy? Thank you, Prof.
I think you'll take up all the questions, then you can answer one by one, yeah? Next.
Yes, please.
Yes, Prof. Thank you for that very good discussion about digital economy. It's very impressive and very informative. Thinking about cryptocurrency, blockchain is basically Web3, and there's total democracy, just like in Web2. People can even put in viruses, and there's no control. There's no one who controls the internet. So you talked about regulations, regulating and taxing. How will that be possible? Maybe you can think through that. Thank you.
I might be new in this field of digital entrepreneurship, but are there any frauds, especially in the cryptocurrency? I've been hearing about bitcoins. There are several companies which are frauders, and how can we be sure this is the right company which I can invest my bitcoins? So far, I don't trust in them, especially securing your money with bitcoins. Number two, I can say I've never seen a digital platform which is very safe. I've been using PayPal, which is very safe internationally. I can buy things, I pay for publication and many other things. Do we have one which we can trust within Kenya? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Prof, for that informative work. My question is one on you've mentioned about the digital lenders, Tala branch and the rest. How can they be regulated from the technological space in terms of the data protection or the data that they handle for the citizen? Thank you.
Thank you. I think you can answer now before if there is any other question. Prof?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I think I will start with the first question on how can data science take advantage of the digital economy and how AI can leverage on digital economy in terms of our academic processes. I deviated a bit from going into the academia and research because the level of digital economy required in research and academia may be slightly different. But I think we already have a lot of digital influence in our academia and research. For example, I believe that many universities have now adopted the online delivery of many of our curriculum. And this is provided by, for example, the Keynote that we are using now. We know that some people use Zoom. We know that we have developed digital space for delivering courses like the Moodle platform. And all this may not seem to be an economy driving the industry, the academic or the education industry, but they contribute tremendously because we are actually creating jobs for other people to maintain these services. And the challenge is only how do we quantify? This is what I was saying in the beginning, that are we creating any wealth or we are just consuming? So that's something that should be considered seriously in terms of our policy framework and in terms of how to regulate the service providers. Now we are talking of the cryptocurrency. How do we tax them? How do we regulate them? And so forth, because of the Web3 level of protection. I think this is something that has to be thought through very, very carefully. In many very secured web platforms, you have things like two-factor authentication, where it is not possible for you to have access unless you have several layers of security and login. This is not very common with the normal web pages, but if you have the two-factor authentication, then there are several layers of login that you must go through before you can able to access your details and your data. So there's possibility of improving or agreeing to regulate them and ensure that the access is highly protected. Now, when it comes to fraud, I think we have several things we are dealing with. Many of the fraudulent transactions are done by scammers. It is very difficult to identify who are the scammers and who are not scammers. Even companies that can be registered, but they're actually scammers. So one of the issues that the government must, or the regulatory framework would involve some formal recognition of all these platforms and companies that are dealing in cryptocurrency. Just like registering companies in Kenya or any other country, there need to be some formal registration of these companies through a gateway that can allow them to operate within the country. Of course, these gateways, many of them are not regulated within our jurisdiction. So that's one of the challenges that we have in terms of regulatory framework. I want to say that the digital platforms like PayPal are very safe, but you should also know that actually you can link PayPal to the M-Pesa and you can transact through both as if you are doing one transaction. So these are some of the opportunities that we have to secure the types of digital space that we have in terms of financial services. Regulation for Tala and branch will follow the similar arguments that we need very strong policies. We need regulations that actually do not hinder, but promote the use of these spaces. We know that the Central Bank of Kenya has a lot of regulatory implications in terms of financial market, and maybe this would be extended and find ways that it could be implemented. Sometimes it is easy to make these regulations, but sometimes it is very difficult to implement them because of logistic challenges. So that these challenges must be thought of very carefully before you can even think of making those regulations. You know, we have so many regulations. We are in paper, but can be effective because of the challenges in there. So these are things that live with, and we learn from our mistakes. Otherwise, thank you for those questions. I think they are very much thought-provoking. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. A big clap for Professor. Thank you, Professor Manyala, for your support to make this conference successful. It was a good topic, and it has enlightened, in fact, some of those digital, I was not aware, digital entrepreneurships platforms. At least I've got some few information which we'll still need to investigate before we invest our money, isn't it? Yeah, thank you very much. You are welcome at Technical University of Mombasa. Next time we'll appreciate your presence here rather than online. But we are really happy that you have made this successful, this event successful. I think we need to appreciate with 3 factorial for Prof. Okay. Start. Okay, thank you very much, Prof. We'll communicate.
All right.
And you have our greetings from our Vice Chancellor. And she's very happy that JUST has participated in our 6th Multidisciplinary Conference and Innovation Week. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Be blessed. Have good deliberations. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Bye.
So I think apology, we had a delay in starting. That's why we had to start with Professor Manyala before do the commissioning of the Manuscript MSS, yeah? Manuscript submission system. So we'll proceed to that. It's one of us and with a team member who came up with the MSS. We have been doing it manually, submitting abstract manually. That's why you can even see there is no regular formality of how this abstract appear. So at least now, even reviewing it will be very easy. And we also have, during the same system can be used for our internal research calls when we tell people apply. At least even review can be online. The reviewer can review it and we can see it from other side. So digitalization now. We are moving out of paperwork. We are moving out of long processes. So we are engineering our processes. Okay. Now we'll allow Dr. Kevin Tolle. You'll give a brief introduction before you do the commissioning. Thank you.
Yes, good morning. My names are Tolle Kevin. I am the ICT Secretary of the Committee of a Multidisciplinary Conference. But before I start, I'll take only 15 minutes of your time. So I request all of you to stand. I want to see everyone smiling. Yeah, so we are going to sing together. We sang this song yesterday during the dinner party. So it's a song that you know it. I will start and then you follow me, okay? If you are happy and you know, clap your hands. Sing. If you are happy and you know, clap your hands. If you are happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you are happy and you know, clap your hands. Thank you. You can have a seat. Okay. Now I have all your attention. That is what I wanted. I am going to be assisted by Collins. Now, just a background introduction of the Manuscript submission system. It is an inbuilt system designed here in TUM because it is part of our process of digitization. Okay, yeah, so at the moment right now we are commissioning. Of course, there is a team where we sat down and I was in charge of that team. And I'll not mention everyone, I'll just go directly to the technical part of the system. Coming next year, we shall be able to submit our abstract online without doing the manual paperwork. Okay, so regarding the system, just a background story of the system. Coming next year in the Multidisciplinary Conference, you will be expected to submit your abstract online, and after submission, you can track the status of your system. So without further ado, I shall start explaining. Maybe you can go to the website of the Multidisciplinary Conference. That is where you start. Okay, that is our website. Okay, how do you get to our website? You click tum.ac.ke. So just start from there. tum.ac.ke. Okay. Thank you. That is our university website. And then at the top left side, you will see 3 menu tabs. So you select Multidisciplinary Conference. So you go there and click. That is when now our landing page of our conference is. Okay. So from that landing page, you can scroll down. Just briefly, just scroll down. Just a minute, scroll up. Those are our conference executive committee, and VC is the Vice Chancellor, Leila Abubakar, and then followed by the DVC, ARE, DVCFP, and Professor Rapma. Scroll down. Those are the themes that we are having. I don't have to mention them. Just go to meet our committee. Now, these are all the committee members. Okay? So, without wasting page, once you land on this page, you can go and there is a menu tab on front where you can log in. This is an open system. If you are in America, you are in any part of the country, you can register as a user. Okay? Let's go to the login page. Yes. Create new account. Okay. Here you make sure you have your email. Okay. You can use your official email. You can use Gmail and Yahoo as you create your own account. So we already have an account, so I don't have to do that. So I will just sign in. Remember, I am coming in as an author, as a researcher. Okay. So I will log in into the system. And then, as a user of the system, that is what I am going to see. Okay? So, when you want to submit an abstract, you go to the button of, okay, there are different menu tabs there. There's the dashboard, submit, submissions, and switch roles, if you're a reviewer, and so on. This system has 3 modules. The first module is an author. The second module is a reviewer. Then the third module is PRI admin. Okay? So we shall look the module of only the author, then the rest, because we don't have time, we shall look at it later. So we can, when you want to submit an abstract, you go to the submit button. You will see there are 2 calls there. Now we have the 6th Multidisciplinary Conference, and then on the other side we have the research proposal. So you select the 6th Multidisciplinary Conference, then you select submit an abstract, then you will have this page. As an author, you will have to fill your details. I don't know if it is clear, if you can see. The first name, the middle name, the surname, maybe you can fill it very fast, the email, institution, and department. If there are so many authors you want to include, there is a button there, add author. We are not going to do that right now because of time, so let's assume I am the only author. So have you filled? Thank you, Colin. So you go to next. So here, this is my favorite part, okay, where now you put the title of your abstract, okay? So just fill the title there. And you'll have two options, either if you're submitting an abstract or a poster. If you're submitting an abstract, you select abstract. And then now, as I've said, that's my favorite. You select the theme, you can select any theme, food security. Then at the abstract level, we have an AI function where you don't even have to type. You can select the microphone and you can talk, where your words can be translated into text by the system. Okay, but we are not going to do that because of the echoes. It will take a lot of time, but that is what we have. You can just talk. This will also help the disability people who don't have maybe hands, they are able differently. They can use that function to write their abstract. Okay, so just copy paste. After putting in your abstract there, you'll have a maximum number of 5 keywords, okay? You can put 2, 3 to 5, and then you can separate them with a comma. And then after you have completed, maybe you can add a paragraph at the abstract so that it looks, you can add a paragraph. Just select any words. So when you're writing your abstract, you'll have your menu tabs there. You have bold, italics, underline, subscript, superscript that will assist you to do what? To write your abstract. You can also copy paste your abstract from where you have written it and just insert it there. So this is just for the demo. So click to next. Okay, so your next step now, you will have a preview of what you have submitted. Okay, so before you go to the next level, you will check clearly how your abstract display will look like. If the title is well written, your author name is there, then your abstract and keywords and the theme that is down there. In case if you want to do corrections, you'll go back to the previous step and correct. So now we are assuming that you have written it very well. You'll just go to next. Okay, and then it will give you instructions that if you have submitted, you cannot make any changes. So let's proceed. Submit. Yes. So that means now you have submitted your abstract, you have done your part, and now you can track it in the submission tab where there is submit and submission. Submit abstract. Okay. Those are the abstracts for this particular user who has submitted, where now you can track whether it is under review or it has been accepted or rejected. Okay. Yeah, so now as a user, as an author, that is where now you will see the comments. Okay, so without wasting time, before I finish, and I just want to welcome questions from the audience. If maybe there's any clarification you need, kindly feel free to ask me.
Good morning, and thank you very much for the presentation. My question is, how long will it take for you to get the feedback about your submission for the abstract?
That's a very good question. Once you submit your abstract, you'll be given a notification via email that your abstract has been received, and now the PRI team will be there now to do the administrative work. But usually, from our policy, it should take 42 hours. Yes, 42 hours for you to get feedback. To get feedback, either it is under review, okay, or maybe regarding on the status where your abstract would have reached. But usually it takes 48 hours, 2 working days to get feedback.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Tole, for the nice presentation. My question is it possible to submit an abstract in the form of a video or image?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sher. At the moment, there is no that component in the abstract, but that is a very good idea. We shall add that feature there. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Thank you. So, my name is Jonathan Metet from HR, also the Disability Inclusion Champion for the university. So I wish to commend this system is a very good one. First, on the issue of the video, that one can also be able now to assist the deaf, so that they can now be signing, then recorded, and then somebody now will interpret, and then you can take the text.
Yes.
And also on the voice, it will assist those who doesn't have the upper limbs. Maybe they was through amputation, or maybe congenital. They were born that way, so it will be a very good system. Also, once integrated with our website, which we also have a disability menu, is also assist those who are visually impaired, because it will activate the voice. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Metet. Who else? Any questions? From anyone? Mr. Siski.
Thank you. My name is Michael Maluki. Thank you, Daktari. A very good presentation and a well-thought idea. My question is for an abstract. When you've submitted, sometimes you find you've made some serious errors and you want maybe to correct your abstract. Maybe after you submit, there's an option of saying you cannot do some changes. Can you be allowed maybe to make another submission? A second question is, maybe one abstract can apply to 2 or 3 sub-themes for the conference. Are you be able to submit the same abstract for the sub-themes? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's a very good question. I'll start with the option. Please remind me, the first question was?
If I can review my abstract
Yes,
after submission.
Now, yes, when we were developing the system, immediately after you submit and after the deadline of the abstract, you cannot change, okay? But yes, there is an option after you have submitted and the deadline for submission of abstract has not yet reached, you will go and re-edit and then resubmit again. So that option is already there. Now, regarding the themes, I think I will consult that if maybe one abstract has several themes, okay? Then now, from there, we can, but right now I don't have, the system cannot select more than one abstract. Okay. Yes, any questions? Okay, so if there are no questions, I would want to appreciate Registrar PRI, Professor Ravma, who has really been helpful with his team, Muzni and Mariam. Maybe you can come forward. Okay.
Just one question. Is it also linked maybe when somebody submits, if there is any payment to be done, it auto-populates or something and then you do payment?
Okay, yeah, yes, that's a very good question. I have not exhausted the system. However, once your abstract has been accepted, okay, that is when now you will upload your final paper, manuscript, and you will be prompted to pay via M-Pesa. Okay, so we cannot go through all that because now the reviewer, there's the reviewer stage, the acceptance and so on, but there's that option. Now I would want to call Professor Ravma, who she has been very much helpful. Whenever I would go to her office, she was ready to assist me. And this project actually took one year and 2 months. So it didn't start yesterday. It has been a long journey. And Prof, I want to appreciate you and that open mind you have shown us in the process of digitization here in TUM. So Prof, asante sana.
Welcome. Thank you, Tole. That is his personal achievement. He has at least done something for himself and for the institution, but at the same time, definitely I have to support because it will ease the work for our office, isn't it? Yes. Thank you very much, and this is how people progress through teamwork. You can come with an idea, another one to modify it, and another one to assist maybe technically. And at the end, Waswahili wanasema mkiona vinaolea, ujue vimeundwa. So you can see something growing beautiful, coming up successfully, and just overnight. No, there should be some work huko zimefanyika. And all of you, you should have one objective, one aim for you to succeed. Thank you very much from you and from your institute. I know it is a teamwork from where you come from, and also ICTS. I say again a big thank you. I'd like to call Professor Said Mwaguni to appreciate Tole to give Tole a gift.
Morning.
Okay, the team members, anataka support from the team members as he's speaking the gift. Team members, the PRI, I know they engage also students. I think my group, okay, I'll present the PRI. Representing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Tole. Wonderful. Smile for the camera. Thank you.
Thank you. So, before we start the paper presentation session, there is a small presentation from BBS group. Something here. We have our young scientists. I believe the next institution they're going to join is Technical University of Mombasa, isn't it? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My name is Jamal Abdullah and I'm from Hamis High School.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ayman Isa. I'm a student at Hamis High School. Me and my colleague thought of something a rough idea about an application that is going to help us solve our legal problems. So we came into conclusion that we created an application named Mizani, which is still under development. So we are going to provide a simple structure of our idea. So onto the introductory slide. Mizani is an AI-powered legal assistance application. This is an application that is going to help us solve our legal problems through streamlining the legal processes. We have this statement that we are told if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you, all right? But around the courts, especially in Kenya, most of the times we are provided with attorneys which at the end, they are not that concerned about you actually getting your justice. So it came by as a victim who approached me and told me that, the legal system has been having these problems ever since. So I created an app called Mizani. Mizani is an Arabic word that means my scale. So, onto the next slide, please. So, the impacts of the problem that were the unfair outcomes and prolonged battles and a lot of backed up cases in courts, especially due to our courts like the Mombasa court. We have a lot of cases that have not yet been heard and have not yet finished the legal process. So that's why we created this app. So I'll introduce you to the key features of the application. The first feature is a legal advisor. AI and the chatbots we have been using, some of them, they are not that compliant with the Kenyan laws. So we are bringing to you an AI legal advisor which is compliant to the Kenyan constitution and the Kenyan laws. Also, we have the automated document generator. This is to help us generate the documents more efficiently and faster. Documents like affidavits, lawsuits, through the use of AI. Instead of us sitting down, getting to the whole process, you just describe your problem, then AI does it for you. And then we have a step-to-step court guide. A lot of us have never been in courts. So when you go in the court for the first time, you're not familiar with the procedures, you're not familiar with the rules, you're not familiar with what is going to go on the court. So this app is going to guide you step by step in layman's language on what is supposed to happen in court and how are you supposed to navigate through the legal systems. So we also have more other features. The next slide, please. The most important thing is the cost, because a lot of lawyers are really expensive. So this app is going to calculate for you the cost. Maybe you need an affidavit, and then that affidavit, you don't know how much it costs. So it can estimate the cost of the document or the cost of what you need to pay for in your court. Also, we have the lawyer directory. The lawyer directory is a database that is going to give us the verified attorneys and their specialties. Maybe you have a company case. Then since you don't have money to afford an attorney, or the money you have is little, you are being accorded to a criminal lawyer. So he's not going to help you that much because that is not the area of his specialization. So this lawyer directory is going to give you suggestions on which lawyers you're supposed to take and that can represent you in a court. The last feature is legal resources are also available offline. Right now we are working on developing a USSD so that also those in rural areas where smartphones have a problem with networking and stuff can also access the same legal resources that we have. Things like the Constitution, legal services can be easily accessed. So these are the key features of the app. So we are going to the benefits. Now, after all these things, what are we benefiting from the application? The application, we're going to benefit first from the affordability. Since a lot of things have been reduced, we see from the cost of the lawyers to the cost of consultations, even the document generation costs, the guide, instead of getting somebody to train you on the court procedures and judicial proceedings, you're going to get that for a minimized cost. So that is one. Two is time saving. Imagine you waiting for somebody who is in Nairobi to come, you get a consultation, you finish, he hears you, you start processing documents. By the time you avail yourself to court, you have taken about 3 to 4 weeks. So this is going now to reduce that time, because a lot of us need justice to be served in a given period of time, so that we don't prolong the suffering for those who are in problems. Also, you are going to get empowered on your rights. Maybe you are arrested and the officers did not read you the Miranda warning, like your rights at the time of arrest and the problems. So you can get to know and get a clue about what your rights are, even when you are in the court, outside the court, during the time of arrest, evidences, and every kind of thing. So also Mizani is scalable and is accessible, especially for those in the rural areas. Now take an example, we are in Mombasa. There's somewhere that we don't have good connection of internet and stuff. So even the lawyers don't go and reach out to these people, since, there's no money on those places. And also the lawyers are looking for money. So this app is going to help those also from the rural areas to access the same services under the same costs as we people of the urban places. Lastly, we have our vision for justice, and this is what we are targeting on. First, we are targeting on the fairness, that every Kenyan, every human being on this earth should get justice fairly and equally. We also have a vision of efficiency, since we need to save on time, because time is one of the assets that are really important in our day-to-day lives. So if you're going to waste it on some legal processes, it's not going to be that good. And then we also have a vision for confidence, because now confidence comes in to the point where now you go into court, you are confident that I have a competent lawyer who is going to represent me in the court. Instead of, you haven't met your lawyer, you're just told this is your lawyer, is going to represent you, you don't know him, and he seems not interested in your cases, he's just there for the money, So that confidence is going to be created by this app. Thank you for listening to me. Any questions? A question or two? Thank you.
Let us give our young boys a good round of applause. That was good work. It was a wonderful presentation. From the introduction from the just professor and whatever he has presented, it shows that they are informed to the current trend in technologies in terms of web development, blockchain, and digital currencies. So TUM is always there to support the society or the community within us, so that we can nurture and empower the youths in terms of innovation. So we'll go to our next session, that is paper presentation. Yeah, we are having breakout sessions starting. We have assembly hall, we have School of Medicine boardroom, and we have School of Business postgraduate room. So the respective panels, they can go to their breakout rooms, School of Medicine boardroom, School of Business, and the Assembly Hall. So at the Assembly Hall, we are having paper presentations by Kenneth Kagoya, Mbula Kioko, and Victor Opondo. They can start preparing. We'll start the presentation by Mbula Kioko.
Minutes. There is, for those who have come very early, at the tent, you can have tea. We are breaking into various sessions. There'll be a session here. I think you can get tea and then you join BBA for those who are doing hackathons and blockchain and the rest. And for those who are doing paper presentation, to come back here in 10 minutes, go for tea. So we'll have 3 sessions, one here at the Assembly Hall, one at the School of Medicine boardroom, and one at School of Business boardroom. Okay. For the School of Business boardroom, chair is the Dean and Charles Kamau. I've not seen any around. Okay, then we have for Assembly Hall, I see Dean Bachani here. Then we have for the School of Medicine is Dr. Suleiman Mzee and Tadudi.
Hall, and my name is Dr. Samir Bachani. I think the students are still having some tea, so once they finish, they'll just join us. Huh? And for the staff members, once it comes, the tea comes, then we'll have our tea at the back. Huh? So, but we can start off our session because we're also running out of time. And today is Friday, so we need to. We have to go for prayers and things like that. Huh? So,
the key results from this study established that there are statistical differences within the 3 counties. You can notice there are differences according to the areas which were used to bring out the study. Mombasa had a mean score of 30.24, Kilifi 36.22, and Kwale at 37.18. That is the level of stakeholder engagement across the 3 counties. There is a difference that is notable. This is the summary of the key areas which were studied, and the results show a cumulative percentage. This percentage I earned from the ANGRIS. The strongly statement was to establish whether the providers water service providers are engaged during the planning and decision-making processes. You can see the cumulative percentage. The other concern was whether the communities were involved in need analysis and prioritization of their needs in water service delivery, and that was at 50.4%. Another area was on collaboration. Is the government collaborating with other stakeholders like NGOs, CBOs, in order to enhance water service delivery? What is happening in the study area gave us 55.5%. There was also an item on information about water service projects, whether when people or the citizens in the study area require any information concerning water projects, is it readily available? And the response was 53.8. There was an item on response. What the stakeholders are voicing out, is it put into consideration when they are being served? And the response was 54.6, and the final item was to identify whether involvement of stakeholders enhances the quality and the stability of service delivery. And this was scored highly at 63%. Now, these differences in engagement, they affect service delivery outcomes. According to the results, the p-value of 0.18 indicated that there is no statistically significant difference in stakeholder engagement across the 3 counties. That means there is uniformity. How they do it, it is uniform within the 3 counties. And the stakeholder engagement also demonstrated a strong positive correlation with water service delivery outcomes. This suggests that when the community is involved, then the services are improved. Therefore, it is important always to engage the communities. On political accountability and government policy, there was a significant positive relationship with service delivery, which means that integrating stakeholders in service delivery brings some optimal governance success. And finally, it is established that the lack of effective stakeholder engagement in areas like Mombasa was linked to poor delivery. Sometimes we may ask ourselves why, but Mombasa has a challenge because Mombasa doesn't have our own source of fresh water. Mombasa imports water from the neighboring counties of Kwale, Kilifi, and Taita Taveta. And there was a time back in 2016 when there was a project which was launched by the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, to desalinize the ocean water. When I was doing the study, one of the leaders, or government leaders, told me that program could not kick off because of finances. It is too expensive, and it's like those donors or financiers who had side collaborating with the county government of Mombasa and the Kenyan government. There were some needs, conditions that they had, and then the government felt those conditions were a bit too hard for these projects. One was to be at Shimolatewa and another one at Mtongwe. So Mombasa is really struggling with water service delivery. There is variability in stakeholder engagement, which impacts water service delivery. And Mombasa, as I've said, is facing other governance issues on policies, on engagements, on finances, and that is why we are seeing the inefficiencies compared to the other two counties. What is the impact on service delivery? It means where stakeholders are fully engaged, there is better service, like in Kilifi and Kwale. And also, the governance structure in Mombasa is hindering the service delivery on water to the citizens. The successful strategies, what is being applied in Kwale and Kilifi, can also be borrowed by Mombasa, and then maybe the county will have some substantial services. In the study, there was some information to the recommendations to the policymakers. One, where the service delivery incorporates all stakeholders, it means there should be enhanced collaborative frameworks. So the government and the service providers, they are supposed to bring on board other agents, other agencies to support service delivery. When there are clearer communication in line with policies,
the halogenated compound to replace the halogens. But the challenge is it works at a low potential of -1, and we know that whenever you need low potential, you need a lot of energy in terms of electricity. So, and when you use electricity, you end up doing electrolysis of water. When you electrolyze water, you end up forming other organic compounds which are not desired. So that is why now we need to use the nanocatalyst silver in its lowest size, because it is more potent. So how do we synthesize silver? In this study, we did synthesis of silver using sodium borohydride as a stabilizing and reducing agent, and we use ethylene glycol, and we also use aloe vera extract, which is the green synthesis. So we were comparing between these three, which one is more potent, which one is more efficient in terms of reduction and stabilizing. So silver nanoparticle has been used as the catalyst for selectivity of the active site of this halogen. So as from the results, we identified that there's actually no activity when we used aloe vera. So there was no reduction. But with ethylene glycol, there was good reduction, almost the same as sodium borohydride, although we couldn't focus so much on ethylene glycol because we needed to use high temperatures, around 80 degrees Celsius, for us to be able to achieve the dehalogenation. Although sodium borohydride, the dehalogenation could happen at room temperature, normal lighting, normal room conditions, we are able to achieve a very good dehalogenation. From the red line indicates the reduction of diclofenac. So we tried diclofenac because it has two chloride molecules. So sodium borohydride and silver nanocatalyst showed potential for reduction of diclofenac with around 50% reduction. So there are two usually organic molecules are divided in some stages. We have the aromatic organic molecules, we have the olefinic organic molecules, and we have the aliphatic organic molecules. So we studied silver nanoparticles and the aliphatic organic molecules, and we identified that it was very, very efficient. The mixture between silver and sodium borohydride could do almost 100% reduction of aliphatic organic molecule by just a few minutes. Same as brominated compounds. So both chlorinated and brominated compounds, the silver nanocatalyst was able to reduce it up to almost 100% reduction. So we also tried with the olefinic molecules, and we used the PCE reduction. So as you can see, the tetrachloroethylene, we managed to achieve 100% reduction by using of silver nanoparticles as a catalyst when reducing using sodium borohydride. So we went further and tried bromocresol. Bromocresol is a quite big molecule, and it contains 3 aromatic benzene, 3 aromatic rings. So we realized that the reduction was quite small, and this could be because of the aromatic ring could be probably deactivating the catalyst, making it not to proceed further. So there is more room for research, and we're able to understand why is the silver nanocatalyst being deactivated. So this is the reduction of diclofenac. So we were able to achieve 50% reduction by use of sodium borohydride and silver nanocatalyst. So although the reaction was very slow, and it took 1 day to be able to reduce it up to that 50%. So still more studies because of we couldn't have the pure diclofenac. So we were using the drug. We are extracting the diclofenac from the drug and trying to reduce it. So could be maybe interferences from the drug itself, the binding agent from the drug, which were causing it not to have complete dehalogenation, or the reason why we are getting around 50% dehalogenation. So thank you very much. I think that's the end of my presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions? This was a very interesting presentation. Huh? I think you work for the government chemist.
Yeah, I work with the government. Yes, I do work with the government chemist and I'm a student here. I'm doing a Bachelor's of Technology, Analytical Chemistry. Thank you.
So, yeah, he's a chemist by profession. Huh? So that is why you see all this. The question that I wanted to ask you is, out of all these different compounds, catalyst, which is the most expensive and which is the most cheapest?
Okay. From all these solutions. The cheapest is copper. The most expensive is palladium. But yeah, we use palladium and copper, but the most potent is silver. Yeah, that has shown cost benefit, so I'd go for silver. Yeah, silver is the best. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Huh? So, anybody has any questions? Yes. Okay, let us give the presenter a clap. Huh? So, I think we come to the end of this session. Huh? So, yes. No, ni 11.
Yeah, 11. What made you think of doing this? Is it the CBC you are learning in school? How did you learn to connect these batteries? How did you learn to connect the motor and then test it in water and found that it is an electric boat? How did you manage?
When I was small, I liked to open things and look inside. Now I can see how the battery works and the motor. When I found that a toy car which uses a remote, if you make it go in front, the wheel moves. That's how I found the motor can move and the connection with the battery.
That's wonderful. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Medical engineering.
That's wonderful. Would you find yourself coming to study in TUM? Have you heard about TUM? What do you hear about TUM?
My cousin learned here, but now she already graduated.
Which course?
I don't know.
So how did you find out that you are having an innovation week and you came here? How did you come here today?
I found one of your TRUM students. When I was testing it outside, he saw me and he called me to check how I made it.
Let us give this young boy a good round of applause. He's an upcoming engineer in making. One of our students was passing by the roadside and they met him at a kidimbwi cha maji because it rained and he was testing his boat there. Let us give him 5 factorials, please. We start. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We start. Congratulations. We are going to assist you so that you can grow, and we'll nurture you so that you can be the engineer you want to be. You can have a seat. This is wonderful. The conference is making change, and the conference is changing lives and generations, isn't it? We have high school students here. We have received a guest from junior primary school. This shows how wonderful or what impact TUM is going to make in our lives. So as we wait for the panel chairs for the paper presentations, we have guests from Swahili Pot, and they have a small session on entrepreneurship. We are requesting all our exhibitors or innovators in the tent to come to the hall so that they can benefit from this. I'll welcome Arafat Mukasa from Swahili Pot to take us through the session. All exhibitors at the tent, please join in, and I'll request us to move forward. Let us fill the front seats so that we can start our session, please. Those at the back, please come and join us at the front seats. Is it possible that I load my PPT? Yes, just there. Give them. Please move forward. Those that are outside, kindly come to the hall. Exhibitors, our exhibitors at the tent, please join us. We have a small entrepreneurship session by Arafat from Swahili Pot. It's going to help you to commercialize your innovations or your ideas as we wait for the panel chair, Dr. Tole and Egesa. And as the others have tea, those who have not taken tea, please, there's tea served at the back of the hall. Kindly serve. Feel comfortable to just have it at your seat. Let us fill the front seats, please. Please fill the front seats. Manzia, come to the front seats, please. Call all the exhibitors and innovators so that we can have the wonderful entrepreneurship session by our sisters and brothers from Swahili Pot Hub.
Hizi viti za mbele tu hapa. If there is a chair in front of you, it's empty. Occupy. If there is an empty chair in front of you, occupy. If there is an empty chair in front of you, occupy, please.
This is connecting to you. The mood.
I want to project any materials. That's okay. If you project, it will take even a lot of time. So we can start.
Yeah, let us give Arafat a good round of applause as he comes to take us through the entrepreneurship session.
Hey, Sasa. Yeah, my name is Arafat. Mu. I work with Swahili Pot Hub Foundation, leading the entrepreneurship pathway. I have my colleague, Sharon. Sharon, you can come introduce yourself. Yeah, just come and introduce yourself. Yeah, I do work with Swahili Pot Hub Foundation, leading the entrepreneurship pathway. So this involves supporting young people to start and grow successful businesses. But over the weekends and also at night, I put on my entrepreneurship hat. So I'm also building 2 startups. One is by the names of One App, and then the other it's by the names of Workflow. So One App, it's basically a personal finance management app. We've been building it for the past 3 months. We started building it 3 months ago, and it's what I use to manage my personal finances, right? So if I want to limit my spend, if I want to save, that's an app that I built for myself and my co-founder. So we've been using it for the past 3 months to solve our own personal problems, but then we realized there are actually other individuals that are also facing those same problems like us. So we've also started onboarding other people onto the app. And then the other Workflow, it's basically a digital participant list. So that's it. I've been involved in a number of startups. I graduated from TUM. I did a diploma in medical engineering. Joined in as well. I did my bachelor's as well. After my DIP, I joined in for my bachelor's. But because of the love I had for entrepreneurship, unfortunately, we had to drop out of school. I dropped out of my undergraduate degree in my 4th year to focus full-time on entrepreneurship. We were a group of four guys, so we all dropped out of school. And unfortunately, none of us has ever come back to finish our degrees. And we are all building companies and businesses out there. But I'm not meaning that to drop out, right? Please stay in school, finish school. Everyone has got their own pathway in school. So this particular session, it's only going to last for 10 minutes, right? And we're only gonna get to focus on the practical things, right? So by show of hands, how many have business ideas or like you have an innovation? Just to kind of like get a sense of who is in the room. If you have a business idea or an innovation that you're working on, just raise your hand. Just raise your hand. Okay. So this is like almost just 10%? 10%, right? 10%. So the vast majority don't have business ideas. Wow. So what we had planned, we had really not planned to take you through how to get business ideas, right? But since 90% of you don't have business ideas, this is what I'm gonna do. So probably in the next less than 5 minutes, I'll just give you a framework of how to come up with business ideas, because the next part of the presentation ideally is meant to focus on how to validate those business ideas, right? So 90% of businesses fail because there's no customers for whatever product that you're building. 90% of the businesses fail because there's no market. You're most likely not going to fail because of competition. You don't have capital, no. You're most likely going to fail because there is no market need, right? And when I talk about market need, what this basically means is when you come up with a product, when you come up with a business, you're trying to solve a customer problem, right? And there is already a way customers are currently solving that problem. For example, let's say I want to create the next M-Pesa, right? There's a very high possibility that is going to fail. A very, very high possibility that it will fail. Reason being, M-Pesa seems to be serving customer problems very well. It's serving us very well, right? People don't seem to be complaining about M-Pesa. Like we seem to be satisfied with M-Pesa. So if you create the next M-Pesa, there is a very, very high possibility that it's not going to work. Why? It will be hard to get people to switch from M-Pesa to start using your new product, right? So that is one thing. But also the other thing, when you build a successful business or when you build a business, there is a very high possibility you're going to get people copying you, right? Like yesterday at Swahili Port, we had a meeting of entrepreneurship support organizations. And one of the things we learned is that most young people are starting businesses because they've seen other people starting the same businesses, right? Unauza nguo because your friend anauza nguo and they seem to be thriving, right? You're selling shoes and just because you saw someone else sells shoes, right? And like the cycle continues on, right? But many times when you build a successful business, you always want to have something that is known as a competitive advantage. What it means to have a competitive advantage, I'll give an example of M-Pesa. The competitive advantages that M-Pesa has, there are two key competitive advantages. First is a strong brand. Almost everyone knows what M-Pesa is. Just mention the name M-Pesa and you literally know what it means, right? And then the second competitive advantage they have is what is known as network effects. What a network effect is that, and the best example of a network effect is also WhatsApp. We all use WhatsApp because everyone is on WhatsApp, right? So if you create another application, you know, the more people use M-Pesa, the more valuable and the more useful it becomes. Sometimes back, there was a huge battle between Safaricom and Airtel. Like, ukikiwa M-Pesa, you can send someone money on an Airtel, and when someone is on Airtel, they can send you money, right? But then that was resolved. The reason why Safaricom never wanted people who are on M-Pesa to send money to M-Pesa was because of the aspect of network effects. Literally, when you build a business, you want to build a monopoly. So Safaricom was on the verge of becoming a monopoly. So the government of Kenya stood up to be able to fight that. Otherwise, if that never happened, most likely Airtel money would have died, you know. So when you get to build whichever business you build, right, it's not enough to come up with an innovation. Once you get onto the market, you want to be able to set up guardrails so that people, however much they copy you, you will still be able to thrive, right? So first thing, build a very strong brand, but also you need to factor in aspects of network effects. Now, how to come up with business ideas for the 90% of you who don't have business ideas, right? So the first thing is solve your own problem. It's pretty simple. Solve your own problem. And hopefully, when you succeed in solving your own problem, there are other people who are also facing a similar problem. But many times, probably maybe even the problem that you're facing, when you come up with a solution, maybe it really might not really be such a good solution because maybe there is a solution somewhere that you might not be aware of. And I'm going to give examples from a personal perspective. So one of the apps that I'm currently building is One App, right? So how One App operates today is I put in money, so every day the app sends me money to spend just for that particular day, right? I only have money to spend for that particular day. Let's say if it's 1,000 shillings, I only have up to 1,000 shillings to spend in a day. So if anything else comes up that it's going to cost me more than 1,000, unfortunately, I can't attend to it, right? So that means, that's literally like that's how the app operates. And when we came up with this app, basically I was solving my own problem. How it started, I used to have a friend at my workplace because I have one particular challenge. I'm a spendthrift. I spend a lot of money. Give me whichever amount of money, I will spend it whichever time you give me, I have no problem spending money, right? Give me 1 million shillings and by 4 p.m. you've spent it, I will have it spent. 50 million, you need me to spend it by tomorrow, I will spend it. I have no problem spending money, right? So what I did, I used to spend a lot of money, and after days pass, I don't have money to spend. So what happened, I reached out to a friend of mine. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm giving you X amount of money, and I only want you, so I give her like, say, just gonna give an example. I give her like, say, 50K. It's like every week, just give me 10K to spend. So she gives me 10K. By Wednesday, the amount of money that I'm meant to spend in a week, I've literally spent it by mid of the week, you know, and she can give me the next money. So I learned, so what I decided to do, I reduced the time from a week to a day. So instead of her giving me 10K in a week, so I told her, every day, just give me 1K. And it actually worked. But now, since she's a human, she gave me 1K a day before. I need 1K for the following day, you know. At times, she delays to send me that money. We humans, right? She probably has to get money from the bank and all that stuff. So it was creating a lot of inconveniences. So what I did, I reached out to one of my colleagues, a close friend. We had built a previous startup with. Actually, we built that startup while in TUM at the hostel. We are a group of 4. So I reached out to him, it's like, hey, I have this idea. Can you write a piece of code that does X? So it's like, create a wallet, I deposit money, and then every day that app sends me money on my M-Pesa. It took him a week, he wrote that piece of code. I put in 10K, and boom, that's how we created that app. Today it's one app, right? So I now eliminated my colleague. So it's now fully automated, and it's working, and I've been using it for the past 4 months, and it's working perfectly fine, right? So we created one app to just solve our own problems. So if you want to get a business idea, first thing is just look at what are the problems, the challenges that you've gone through as an individual. That's a very, very great way of solving your own personal problems. The other startup that I'm building is known as Workflow, and it's actually from the experiences at my workplace, right? We host so many activities, and basically what has happened is we require participants to register on physical participant lists. Like you've all registered on a physical participant list, right? So one challenge was that after all that data, after people have written their names on those participant lists, their contact and emails, it's another hell of a stress digitizing that. Because now you need people sitting down, typing those details, digitizing them. It's boring stuff, right? And there's a program that we were running at my workplace. I gave some young innovators, like, hey, can someone create an app that can literally just digitize a participant list? And literally no one could do it. So I decided to take it up by myself. I now reached out to another friend of mine, whom we also met here at TUM. And it's like, hey, can you create this app? Then we're going to get to pilot it at SwahiliPod. So the app is still in development, but I'm pretty sure my instincts tell me that it will work, right? So those are just kind of like practical examples of how you can come up with business ideas. But now there's just one thing coming up with a business idea. It's another thing getting to validate that particular business idea, whether it's going to work. So before you spend a lot of resources building product, so for all the startups that I've been involved in, it's been basically solving our own problems. So we kind of like pretty much convinced that there are people that are going to use it. But let's say, for example, you don't have a particular problem. Maybe you're solving a problem for someone else. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, or something of that particular sort. Once you come up with an idea, the next thing you want to do before you even invest a lot in building product is to conduct what is known as customer discovery interviews, right? Customer discovery interviews. Once you come up with an idea, go conduct customer discovery interviews. And what does a discovery interview do? It will give you some sort of like an indication of whether people are really facing a particular problem. Now, let me give an example of one app. We've conducted customer discovery interviews, 50 of them. And basically, the purpose of that is to help us know what kind of problems are people facing while trying to manage their personal finances. So one of the questions we've only asked a set of 5 questions. One is, what do you understand by personal finance management? And people are telling us like, hey, it's all about managing the finances that I have, ensuring that I only spend money within my limits and all that stuff. Then the next question we ask is, how are you currently managing your personal finances? So some people have told us they do have budgets, so they budget, right? They cater to their rent, buy groceries, pay internet, buy power for their homes, and whatever that is left, they save a section of it. Then we then ask them, what challenges are you facing while managing your personal finances, right? One key thing that we've learned, I think for ladies, they've said aspect of like, what is it that, how is it? Like, you come across a nice shoe, you buy. You come across a nice dress, you buy. Like I've forgotten the specific term, but I've heard that from. Yeah, impulse, exactly. Yeah, impulse buyers, right? So that is a key theme that has actually come across most of the females that we've interviewed, right? Then, so we ask them about their challenges. Then we also get to ask them, how have they set up their spending limits? Do they have spending limits? Is it monthly? Is it daily? Is it weekly? Or they have none at all, right? And then we also get into asking them what is their spending amount. Like if they have a limit, maybe it's daily, what is the amount? If it is weekly, what is the amount? And one thing that we've learned is M-Pesa does not help people to save. It only helps them to save. Sorry, it only helps them to spend. So even if you have money in your M-Pesa, most likely people are gonna get to spend it. That's kind of like one of the things that we've got to learn, right? So that is how we've conducted customer discovery interviews. So as we've been conducting those customer discovery interviews, the individuals that we mostly focused on are those that say they do have a spending limit, right? Now those are the ones that we focus on. Technically, they are known as quote-unquote early adopters. So when you're conducting customer discovery interviews, it's not about selling your solution. Now for most people that we've interviewed, none of them even has an idea of what one app does. They literally have no idea of what one app does because we're trying to kill the idea. We're trying to sort of like find all possible ways in which this particular idea will not work. So basically that's it. Yeah, you have come up with a business idea. The next thing you need to conduct are known as customer discovery interviews. Now for the students, when you are Kohapa, I don't really think there is any better way or any better time to become an entrepreneur while you are a student. Like, you have the opportunity to take risks. You also have an opportunity to meet your business partners, right? You have the opportunity to meet your business partners. Everyone that I've ever considered to be a business partner, I've met them in college. Literally, I met them here at TUM. So maximize the opportunity that you have to like experiment and with those wild entrepreneurial ideas. Like literally once you get out there, it's really gonna be hard identifying a business partner. And it's actually very much important to work in a business with someone else that you trust, right? For purposes of complementarity. For example, I'm very good at fundraising, partnerships, talking to customers, but I don't have the technical skills, even if I did engineering, to build product. I can design, but I cannot code, right? So all my business partners were literally guys who studied engineering, computer science, and all that. So that said, I hope this is kind of like helpful for you. And now, yeah, we can get to open it up to questions. Ayub, yeah.
Okay, hi, how are you?
Good.
Ayub. So my question is, how there's this issue of the co-founder syndrome. How have you handled that so that if you're building a business together, there is no need for you to be a CEO, for me to be a CTO. We should focus on building the product first and solving the problem, because personally I feel having that co-founder syndrome, it has killed a lot of my ideas. So how can I handle that?
Okay, when you talk about co-founder syndrome, in this particular case, you mean who's the CEO, who's the CTO, and all that, like titles?
It's more focusing on the title than doing the work.
Oh, interesting stuff. Yeah, interesting stuff. So anyway, of the two startups that I'm currently running, One App and Workflow, for each of those startups, I do have partners. And trust me, we don't even have titles. We just focused on getting the work done, like building product and talking to customers. When you're getting to build a business, those are the only two things that matter. Build product, of course, the first thing is talk to customers, then the other is build product. Like 70% talking to customers, 30% building product, right? So we don't have titles. What we have is defined roles. I know he's building product, I'm talking to customers, and that's it. If it reaches a certain point where we need to have that defined, it will literally come out very clearly. Yeah, but I think that is really one of the challenges. Like calling yourself quote unquote CEO and the company is not even making money. You don't even have a product. I think that is one of the challenges that young people we have, right? We want those big titles, yet we don't really know the effort that goes into to sort of like fill those particular shoes, right? So forget about titles, just literally focus on the work. And literally, it will ideally come out later on, like who puts in the effort, you know, like who is literally the natural leader. Because at the end of the day, you're going to need to have a leader for a particular team, for a particular startup. Yeah. Any other question? Okay. Yeah, sure. Can take this mic. Hi.
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 Yeah, so my question is, given you've started to, like you're working on 2 startups so far, would you say, or what would you say are the main issues you've encountered as like a team or individually, as like you are building the business and now during the...
The main challenge?
Yeah, the main challenge.
I think right now the biggest challenge is time. The biggest challenge is time. Because full time, I'm an employee. Like literally from the time I wake up, usually what is on top of my mind is not even the startups that I'm building. It's my day job. Then I get to my startups at night or even over the weekend. And at night at times it's quite hard because the day job that I have, it's quite intense. So even when I get home, many times I just want to get to sleep. So that means I probably have Saturdays or Sundays to work on my startup. The same case applies to my partners. We're not working on this full time, we're all part time. So the challenge is time. So because of limited time, the challenge now becomes that it's taking us a lot of time to get things done. Like building product, it's taking quite a lot of time. Talking to customers, it's taking quite a lot of time. So that is the biggest challenge. Yeah. And then maybe the other idea, I don't know how many folks here are doing stuff around software, like software stuff. If you're doing software, like the beauty of doing, I've only been involved in doing tech startups. I've only been involved in doing tech startups, at least to an extent. And the beauty about tech startups is that you don't need capital, right? Like the only capital we've invested is literally our time and our skills. And we're building a piece of software. Hopefully, if things go well, for one app, the goal by the end of this year is to have like 100,000 users on the app, literally like 100,000 users. And hopefully by the end of next year to have like north of a million users, right? So this means that at some point it will get intense and I'll have to quit my full-time job and just literally focus on the startup, right? But the biggest challenge right now is time. So most people usually kind of like complain that capital. Many times you actually don't need capital to start a business. If it is a burning problem, actually even customers are willing to give you money before you even have a product. Yeah. So, and there's a number of actually students from here in TUM that are really building amazing startups. One that I know of, I was actually speaking with him this morning. His app is known as Stock App, helping small businesses to keep track of their stock and sales. And the app is used in more than 70 countries. More than 70 countries. And they graduated in TUM. And he found his business partner here in TUM. He did business and the partner did a computer science, right? And there's just so many other, there is Tech Kids Africa, they're training kids on software and robotics across the country. The gentleman graduated from TUM, he did computer science. There is AfriBot Robotics, right? The founder, he was also a very famous innovator from here in TUM. He's also teaching kids, and they're really doing amazing work. They've also scaled from Mombasa to Nairobi, doing really, really well. They also graduated from TUM. We actually did the same course, medical engineering with him. So yeah, there's a lot of success stories of TUM students are building. All the successful tech startups that I know of from Coast Region, 98% of them are by students who graduated from TUM, right? So I will literally banking on you guys to build the next tech startups. And when you do it big. Cool. So I think I'm done. I hope this is helpful. Yeah, you wanna have a one-on-one chat? Yeah, I'm still around for this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Arafat.
Yes, good afternoon. I'll be your next facilitator. And because of time, we shall jump through the person who's going to present. So I welcome Mr. Moses Karema Mlewa. He's going to present optimizing non-revenue water management. Mr. Mlewa is the ICT director of Kilifi County, and he is also our PhD student in the ICI department. So, Mr. Mlewa, karibu.
Thank you, Doc, for that introduction. I'm Leo Karema. I'm presenting Optimization, Non-Water Revenue Management, a comprehensive literature review. I'm co-authoring with Dr. Kelvin Tole and Dr. Kelvin Gala from ICI department, TUM. So what is non-water revenue? This is the water that is being lost or it's not being, the water that is from the pumping system to the customer So that water that does not get billed by the company, and so that is non-water revenue. And this is a challenge to the water companies. They are not able to account for this. They're not able to account for this, and end up to have challenges, or yes, having challenges, because they pump a lot of water, treat that water, but that water does not get to the customer, or it does not get billed. So why is it a major challenge? It's a financial operation and infrastructure. It has an infrastructure impact. What are the components for this? There are physical loss. The physical loss is where we have leakages. Commercial loss is when that water is not billed accurate. You're using a high volume of water, but that water does not get billed. Then the authorization component as well. The water bodies, they support emergency cases for like fire safety. So that water, yes, is authorized to be used, but it doesn't get, they don't get billed. So end of the day, they have a loss on that. So what is the impact? It is a financial deficit, increased operation, infrastructure deterioration, and also it's a global challenge. Not only to the water companies we have here, we have Mombasa Water Company, we have Kilifi, we have Kwale, we have Malindi, those around here. But still, not only these are having challenge with non-water revenue, but also global. So what is the research objective? Our research objective is to determine what are these factors that are affecting non-water revenue. Our another objective is to evaluate emerging technologies on how we can be able to tackle this problem. And the last is to identify the future direction on this. So what are these critical factors or determinants that are affecting non-water revenue? One of them is aging infrastructure. Aging infrastructure, underground pumps or water pump, they are the big problem because no one knows where these infrastructure are. Most of the infrastructure are not even marked. We are not even able to know where is the water, where is the route for those infrastructure, and so they end up causing leakage. And this leakage, if they are not noticed during time, then it becomes a loss to that water company. Or to the other one is meter inaccuracy. When these meters are not well, when they're not accurate, when the meter is not able to bill you properly for the water that you're using, yes, it's a loss to the company. The other issue is effective leakage detections. If these leakages are not detected earlier, then it's also a loss to the water company. Assume of a water pump in a forest, and it goes on. No one notices that there was leakage in that forest. So this company will not even realize there's a water pump or there's a burst of a pump. The other thing is a pipe breach, where we have contractors doing water works or are doing road works. The case of engineer here, they're doing road works and they disconnect, or by any time they cut that pump. And at least that one is noticed, but in other cases where it's not noticed as it's not reported, we have loss to the company. How many times do you go to work and you find a pool of water and you realize by the time you report it, then that company has gone lost because they're not able to be that water. Meter manufacturing, that is also another issue. So inadequate planning, this is caused by inadequate planning, financial limitation, water theft and connection. Those guys who do connection, there are also illegal connections. This is also a problem. And also social factors affecting the same. When you talk about social factors, we assume that behavior of the society, not even taking water as a precious commodity. And by the way, as we increase in population, water is becoming a scarce commodity. The population is also a key. Because as the same infrastructure that you used to serve 10,000 people, now the population has grown. There are many estates that have mushroomed, and now you still have the same infrastructure. Also, that one is an effect to the companies. Sorry. So what are the emerging technologies? One of the emerging technology which you might have heard is advanced metering infrastructure, which uses IoT, and these are smart meters. So the same way, and in this utility, only water is not in much practice. But Malaysia Kenya Power, they are ahead, and they're using smart meters. Everyone uses a token somewhere. So the other option is having a token for meters. That you can be using token to the meters that you use at home. How will that be? The same way you suddenly get to darkness because the token is over. So that's the same way also. It's going to help these companies. Remote leakage detection, that we can be able to detect a leakage of the water infrastructure. Geographical GIS, using GIS technology, using data analytics and machine, and using digital twin technology, modeling technology. Studies have been done. Hale and others utilized data collectors to collect and evaluate transfers of utilities and usage for metering management. Another study done by Ismail 2022, he evaluates that the smart meters are bidirectional, that they're able to give information both to the customer and both to the customer, yes, and as well to the water company. Introduction of intelligent water utilization predicting. This was a study done by Segol Weeks 2023. Where they're using intelligent water meter to be able to, as a technology, to able to assist the water companies. Another study done by Mahin 2025 this year, they're using IoT-enabled water meters in Bangladesh, which provided remote monitoring, real-time data transmission. And there are many other technologies that are using these IoT for smart meters. One of them is called LoRa network, and the other one is called BTU network. And most of our telecom companies are the ones that are using these systems so far. Our studies there are studies that have been done on remote leakage detection. Study done by LAM 2015. They're using the conventional neural network to detect pressure in the leakage, to detect pressure and advanced metering in detecting leakage. A study done by Hang and others, 2025, they analyzed spatial temporal correlation of monitoring data. We checked also another study done by Bart Kowalski and Intel, used hydraulic modeling and sensitive analysis. A study done in 2025. We also checked studies done for GIS, and these studies are done to field measurements. In this study done by Ad and Atel, they used a measurement and mathematical model for water pipes and networking. Another study done by Hang and others in 2025, they developed a GIS system, a web-based GIS system to detect water leakage. What are the strengths and the weaknesses of this technology as well? One, the advanced meter. Yes, the strength is that they are bidirectional and automatic. They detect faults. That's okay. But again, the other thing with these, they are prone to cybersecurity because they're using most of them are using a third party and mostly telecoms network. Building an IoT network, yes, but again, it's also expensive. So most of the time, they rely on the telecoms network. The remote detection, they are fast to detect and leakage. but they're sensitive to perception on the sensors. So at one time they give false impression that there's a leakage, whereas there's no leakage. The GIS, these GIS are limited to they're limited to real-time processing. That's the weakness of this system. For data analytics and machine learning, yes, they're good system, but they suffer overfitting or they suffer overfitting and not giving the right information on this. Digital twin modeling, they have a high computational demand, and most of the time they rely on monitoring capabilities. And most of the digital twin, these are using simulation and real. So it's twin, you have a simulation and you have a physical model. So the same way you see, advanced metering, the smart meters that we are talking about, they have data security, the remote detection, they suffer sense cost, and GIS, their costs. Digital twins, they're also expensive setup. So what is the future now? So the future is having generative AI for water distribution system, have a blockchain for secure invoicing, and first for secure invoicing, and a blockchain also for helping detection. We checked another study that they're using blockchain to detect even linkage. Yes, the future again is having integration with machine learning to being able to help detect non-water revenue. And last but not least, use of AI driven to be able to detect non-water revenue. And conclusion, non-water revenue, they are complex and require integrated solution. Emerging technologies offer powerful tools for optimization, though there is less research on optimization. So the call for research is use of optimization techniques to be able to detect this non-water revenue. And last but not least, collaboration of innovation for effective non-water revenue management. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mlewa. Let's give him another round of applause, a heavy one. Before we ask him questions, I request the ones who are sitting on the back to kindly move in front. There are so many seats in front here. The ones that are on the back, also on that side, kindly come and fill the empty space here. Yeah, there are empty seats here. So kindly, let's move. So now it's a question-answer session. Anyone who has any question for him?
So, hey, I'm Daniel. I was asking if the pilot phase of your project, where would you implement it? Would you try to implement it in Mombasa, for example?
Okay, this study is a literature review. So this study is basically checking around what has been done to solve this problem. Yes, but Mombasa, they're currently doing smart meters, but we see this is the technology they're using is advanced metering infrastructure, which also has problems. And Mombasa have done 2 attempts, which they have not managed. So Mombasa have an attempt, which flopped. Kwale have not done an attempt. Kilifi have done an attempt, and it flopped.
Who has any questions? Anyone? Okay, thank you. Dr. Mlewa. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, just. Yeah.
Just something I noted. Your presentation says non-revenue water, but you keep saying non-water revenue. So you need to be specific what you're talking about, yeah. I want to assume it's non-revenue water, yeah. But throughout your presentation, you kept saying non-water revenue, non-water, yes. That confusion shouldn't happen with your research presentation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mleo, you want to respond?
Thank you for that. I think it's the notion of the issue is water, but the problem is it's called globally known as non-water revenue, and it's as well known non-water revenue, but the standard is non-revenue water. That's the standard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's give him a round of applause, the last one, as he goes to sit. Now we move to the next presenter. And this next presenter is a unique person, none other than Madam Amina. You know, to get ladies in technology, it's extremely difficult. Yeah, so on behalf of all women in tech, Madam Amina, welcome. Madam Amina is a lecturer in ICI. She's also finalizing on a PhD, and hopefully she'll be graduating in December. So Madam Amina, welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amina, as introduced by Dr. Tole. I'm a lecturer here at TUM. I teach IT and computer science. Currently pursuing my PhD in IT here at Technical University of Mombasa. All right, so I'll be presenting on, I'm specializing in AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning. As you could see, my topic there is an AI model for dysgraphia prediction with visual learning, scaffolding interventions. My supervisors are Dr. Mvuria Mgala, Dr. Fulgence Mwakondo. You might be wondering what is dysgraphia. So it's a model for predicting dysgraphia. You see the AI model for dysgraphia prediction with visual learning scaffolding interventions. You might be wondering what is dysgraphia. How many of us have poor handwriting? Many of us, I'm sure. I'm one of them. If I write, you can't read my handwriting. All right? So this actually starts from where, at a very young age, in primary school, nursery school, but we go undiagnosed. No one knows that we are suffering from dysgraphia. We end up writing compositions and end up failing in composition because of our poor handwriting. So most of us didn't know when we were young, but when we have our own kids suffering from the same thing, that's the time you start realizing, like, there must be something very wrong. And that is where I started doing my research and get to know that there's a learning disability that impairs handwriting known as dysgraphia. There are three types of learning disabilities. One is dysgraphia. This is impairment in handwriting. There's dyscalculia. This is people who can do maths. How many of us got E's in maths? See somebody getting a 90% in maths, another one getting a 2%, a 10%, and you start wondering, kwani mtoto ni mjinga aje? No, they have a learning disability for maths. And these students, if supported properly, can excel and even score an A. I can assure you that. Then we have those with reading disabilities and spelling disabilities, dyslexia. This is another learning disability condition. They can't write proper spelling. They end up failing in composition. And you know, in our third world countries, exams are sitting. Physical exams you have to write on paper. So definitely you're going to fail because of your poor spelling, punctuations, as well as your poor handwriting. And that is what we call dysgraphia. Now, Now, what is dysgraphia? You could see there is a neurological learning disability that affects handwriting and written expression. It is neurological impairment. It's how you are born. You are born with that impairment. Without your knowledge, you realize you can't write. Imagine a very bright student who can't write. And you know the way your exams are, you have to do written exams. Remember of a child being very intelligent but cannot write. And then a teacher calls you like, huyu mtoto ataandikaje KCSE? Mtoto ataanguka. And yes, you're going to fail. That can actually lead to depression, frustration, and teachers don't understand you're suffering from dysgraphia. Your parents keep on beating you, your teachers keep on beating you, your colleagues keep on embarrassing you because of unaambiwa miguu ya kuku. Remember when you're being told, mbona unaandika kama miguu ya kuku? Those are the things we are talking about. So it's a neurological learning disability that affects your handwriting. Symptoms are poorly formed letters, inconsistency. You write a big A, then you write a small a, uneven spacing, misalignment. You're writing on a line, mara, it has gone below the line. These are some of the symptoms of dysgraphia condition. I'm sure we have some suffering from dysgraphia here. I am one of them, I can attest to that. If I write, you can't read. All right, so dysgraphia affects academic performance, making written assignments and exams difficult. It lowers self-esteem, leading to frustration, anxiety, and reluctance in classroom activities. Mwalimu anakuambia nasari, mtoto hataki kuandika, unamchandika mtoto. Mtoto hataki kuandika, but you should actually get into the root of the problem. If you go to other countries, learning disability is taken seriously. Like in Kenya, people don't even know that it exists. People look at special disabilities like Wale Vilema. They don't look at learning disabilities. But with support, that particular student suffering from dyscalculia can excel in maths if you support them. But how? You have one teacher.
Check sound. 1, 2.
This one is dysgraphia, very difficult. But with technology, it's possible. We can make apps that can assist you at home. You have your app on your laptop, you have your app on your phone that can help you learn at your own pace. Most of these people suffering from dysgraphia, dyscalculia are slow learners. They learn at their own pace, believe me. If you take them slowly, they can get an A. But who is going to support them? With a large number of students in our classroom, like you have 100 in a class, it's very difficult for a lecturer or a teacher to be able to know that you're dysgraphia and be able to support you. But here we are talking about a technological AI solution. We are going to come up with an AI application that can help students improve on their handwriting at an early age. Here we are targeting primary school kids. My research, because I am dysgraphia, and that is why I got interested in supporting these children at a very young age, maybe class 1 to 6, to improve. But in our public schools, teachers cannot handle the large number of students. So we want to help them by coming up with applications that can help them learn at their own pace at home, with the support of their parents. It is serious. I'll give an example of an MP, a very famous MP in Kenya, who confessed that she's dysgraphia like me. Let's look at statistics of dysgraphia. You can see 10 to 30% of people suffer from dysgraphia. In the United States, 10 to 30%. In India, 15 to 17%. China, 11.3% of primary school children are suffering from dysgraphia. In the UK, 5 to 10. In Africa, Nigeria, 34.7%. Kenyan, we still don't know, but there have been some few studies on dysgraphia. You can see here there is a challenge. It's a global challenge, not only an African challenge. There's a need for us to support such learners. And we are looking at universities, many students even dropping out because of maths. Students can't do calculus. Tunawaacha tu, haujui kusoma, wewe nenda nyumbani. You fail, you retake, you do a supplementary, go home. That is what we do here. But we don't look for ways of making them learn at a very slow pace. You see, let me tell you one thing, they are very intelligent students. Mtoto wako ukimwachilia ukisema hajui maths, ndio ameenda. Doamenda, they are very intelligent students. You just need support system. And that is what we are lacking in our third world countries. The same thing with handwriting. Challenges in traditional diagnosis. Currently, how do we diagnose dysgraphia? All right, so there is no medical way of diagnosing dysgraphia other than handwriting. Maybe the teachers, especially we have therapists like occupational therapists, will be able to look at the handwriting of the students and be able to note that this one is having dysgraphia and this one does not have dysgraphia. For us, we are going to use a machine learning model to detect. Because I realize in Kenya, we only have 900 occupational therapists registered. Now imagine the number of students we have. So here we want to come up with an AI model or system that can help in diagnosing, because we have fewer resources. We have fewer number of occupational therapists in Kenya. So here there's a need for us to come up with an intelligent application that can just take the handwriting and say, this one has dysgraphia, this one does not have dysgraphia. And that is what my research is all about, of course motivated by myself. Now these assessments are subjective, resource intensive, take a long time. Imagine now I have like 200 students in one class. Going at one student at a time, checking the handwriting might take a long time, but the app will take milliseconds and be able to predict whether you have the condition or not. Children might be labeled as lazy, kumbe they can't write, they have a condition. It's not their fault. It's just neuron impairment here. They were born like that. They need our support as adults, to support them to be able to write, support them to be able to read, support them to be able to do maths. Okay, so late diagnosis results in missed opportunities for timely intervention and skill development. They give up, They give up. Yeah, there Esther Passaris. Esther Passaris came out openly saying that she suffered a lot during her childhood because she could not read nor write. Because most of these dysgraphia students also have some reading difficulties. They are both dyslexia and dysgraphia. So according to Passaris, he said, I'm not ashamed to say that when I was young, I was not diagnosed like me. My handwriting is disastrous. I can't even read it, she confessed. My teacher used to beat me so many times on my knuckles. My mind will go so fast that I couldn't keep up with the writing. She explained that dysgraphia is often misunderstood and can lead to frustration for both students and teachers. So she suffered during her childhood. The beatings. Akikwenda nyumbani, mzazi anatandika. Akienda shule, mwalimu anatandika. You end up getting frustrated. Ukimaliza form 4, unasema, hapana, siendi university. I don't want to go to university. I just want to do I just want to go to college and do accounting. That's the end of it. I don't want to go back to school. It's because you actually suffered throughout your education journey. We have so many of them. Even here, when we mark those scripts, you can just make out that I can't read this script. Paka nichukue torch. I have to take a torch and then be able now to read what that student has written. I just knew that these students are suffering from dysgraphia. All right, so this is our proposed technological solution for dysgraphia prediction. We are going to use a deep learning architecture known as DesNet 1-to-1. It is a pre-trained model that has been used in other areas like image classification, like let's say radiography, to be able to read MRIs, to be able to read X-rays. So it's something that has been proven to be useful in image classification. Then we are going to use the deep learning AI model to be able to capture the handwriting features from the written, handwritten, from the written whatever papers of students. And then we are then going to use machine learning classifiers. Now after extracting the handwriting, we need to classify, do you have it or not? There is no need for us to give everyone attention, and yet only 5% in the class are suffering from dysgraphia. And technology will make it so fast for us to be able to identify the 10%, pull them out, and see how we can support them. And then after that, we are going to do handwriting analysis. After we have diagnosed the condition, whether you have it or not, we need to do a thorough handwriting analysis to know what the 5% are suffering from. See, some could be suffering from uneven spacing. Space up on a double, up on a triple. Some is inconsistency in the letters. So we need to know your actual problem so that we can now support you. All right, so that is handwriting analysis. And then we are going to now create a profile for each learner. Once we know your difficulties in your handwriting, we are going to create a profile. Like learner Amina, inconsistency in letters. They cannot form letters well, uneven spacing. So every learner gets a profile so that we know exactly how to support each learner. Now, we said we are going to support them with the concept of scaffolding. So what is scaffolding? Scaffolding is breaking down tasks into smaller bits. Let me tell you one thing about students with learning disability. These students learn very slowly, and they don't do a lot of things at a go. You have to break it down into small bits. You have to break it down into small bits. You're teaching them how to write a letter A. Don't tell them write A. You can start by putting a curve C. Let them write a curve C. Once they have learned, now join with a line. That is how it's supposed to do. You can start by teaching them using grids. Ile letter stoke nje ya box. With time, their hands get used to writing. There's a need for us to support such learners at a very early age. Mimi naweza waletea handwriting ya mwanafunzi, mukimbie. Mutoke kwa hii hall sasa hivi. The way they write, and the big adults, you'll be shocked the way they write. I'm like, huyu kweli alienda shule? Yes, they're very intelligent, but they cannot write because they did not get support early enough. They are not diagnosed early. So visual scaffolding is breaking down tasks into smaller, manageable steps, providing temporary guidance, of course. You have to support them as they write, pole pole, and then with time you release them. That is scaffolding. Break it down into small parts, support them gradually until they master that particular letter, and then let them write. And they will write it, they will. But you have to release them gradually, not at a go. That is what scaffolding is. Now, visual scaffolding is using visual cues, like tracing lines on a tab. See, tracing lines, grid lines, line markers, such kind of things is what we need to support them at the initial stages. Research objectives is to develop a deep learning model that predicts dysgraphia learners and supports them using visual scaffolding. So we are going to develop an AI model for predicting learners. We are going to extract their handwriting features. We are going to evaluate it. Evaluating here now is going to schools. Once I've done my model, I need to see that it's working. I will walk around various schools in Mombasa and be able to test whether my model can really predict dysgraphia, whether my model can really support such learners. And this is our intention, to support dysgraphia learners. Hopefully in the future, she'll do also for maths. Should do one model for supporting students who are difficult in writing and doing mathematics, and recommend visual scaffolding techniques. At the end, we'll now recommend for you what your teachers need to do to support you. And if possible, we'll go to an extent of creating those exercises for the teachers using artificial intelligence. We'll actually make their work easier, that students can get exercises online to be able to improve on their handwriting. That is literature review. Literature review that is available is also minimal. It is something that now people are now realizing it. Okay, if you look at the literature that I have, are not so much. I've seen so many papers coming up last year, 2023. People are realizing that dysgraphia condition now is a serious issue compared to some years ago. But these people are only predicting if you have it. Then what? They don't go further to support you. This is what we've seen there. Is there any intervention strategy? No, until the end. After knowing I have a condition, you leave me there. No, we want to support the learners by using visual scaffolding techniques, such as like tracing guides, grid lines on a tab, so that when they go home, since they are slow learners and they are visual learners. Have you seen people like when they see a video, they understand it immediately. Lakini klasini wewe mfundishe paka uchoke, wewe mwanafunzi bado haelewi. So there's a need for us to use visual scaffolding techniques for such learners. They can take them home, they can try to learn with their parents, they can try to write. Now utaona, they'll catch up with the rest because they're slow. They want to learn at their own pace. Methodology, we are going to use mixed method, research, experimental research for development of the AI. Then we're also going to use survey, experimental for evaluating the performance of our model. Remember, we are going to hire some occupational therapists. We don't want to do something that doesn't work. We want to bring experts on board. This is our AI, you're an expert. Let's do it together. The occupational therapist will diagnose one, our AI diagnoses one, and we look at the deviations. We want to make sure that our model is working accurately to be able to support learners. That is our proposed model. We are going to do data collection. We are going to use some online data sets, and some will be collected for testing of our model. Pre-processing, of course, the images have to be processed to remove some noise. Then after that, we are going to use pre-trained DesNet for feature extraction. We are going to use various classification models like artificial neural network, SVM, and the rest. And the one that predicts with the highest accuracy will be selected. Evaluation metrics will be accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, and the rest. Learner profiling, we are going to combine DesNet, feature extraction, and OpenCV. We are going to use some Python function. I'm going to show an example. Some Python function that can be used for, have been used for writing analysis, but we're also going to implement it in our study. And then finally, strategy recommendation. Here, I'm only going to do recommendation, but we are going to implement them. In our study, we are going to implement those strategies. All right, now we have some visual scaffolding intervention strategies that were adopted by Mbogo et al. 2015. So we are going to abide by the guidelines. They will guide us through the strategies. They are well-known visual scaffolding guidelines. We are going to use them so that we don't go wrong when recommending the visual scaffolding techniques. All right, so these are just sample processed images. We are going to collect data and do some processing. We are going to use the white patch, Retinex, and histogram equalization, contrast enhancement to make sure that the pixels are well distributed, the lighting is well distributed in the images. That is our DesNet, one-to-one. You can see there it's very intensive feature extraction. There are 3 blocks of DesNet, and each one has CNNs in it. It has some convolutional neural networks in them. All right, so we are also going to do some high parameter tuning using an optimization technique, which is the random search technique for this case. We are going to use 5-fold. Then we are going to use 5-fold cross-validation for training and validating of our model. All right, now this is the performance of our classifier. So far, we managed to do the prediction. You can see the classifiers we used, the highest accuracy reported by artificial neural networks compared to the others. So that one was able to predict dysgraphia accurately compared to the other classifiers. Interpretation, you can see we have a high recall rate. Everything is high when you're using artificial neural network. It is because of the features that were extracted. The DesNet get to the deep features, be able to extract thousands of features from the handwriting. Then handwriting analysis, you could see there we are going to use segmentation using contours. Every handwriting is going to be segmented there. And then we are going to now analyze the stroke widths. We are going to look at the spacing. We are going to look at all the difficulties that dysgraphia learners are suffering from. Those are sample handwriting analysis. And then now we are going to create a profile. Learner 001, what is he suffering from? You see, some studies that I've seen on visual scaffolding is, they just make scaffolding techniques and take them to class. Kila mtu anafanya. Ni kama ile mwalimu anakuja kwa class anasema, kila mtu afanye hii exercise. You're wasting time. Some don't need. We want to get to the bottom of the root of the problems of these learners to be able to support. So we create, like there are not many, like we get 5% in a class, so we'll be able to create their profiles, to be able to know, huyu shida yake ni, anaandika mara the width, dark, mara light, mara uneven spacing. So we need to get to the problems, the root of the problems to support them well. So this is a learner profile creation. And then we are going now to do some recommendations. Like if you see you have your stroke width is inconsistent, we are going to recommend some tracing guides. Remember here, we are only recommending, we haven't reached the stage of implementing, and that is why I have not included it here. I only recommended tracing guides, grid pages, color-coded, those things that will support dysgraphia learners. We are going to validate the model. How are we going to validate? We are going to use an existing study that did the same thing using the same data. But realize that we are using a different approach, and our proposed model has performed better than the previous studies because our approach is different from the others. We have used optimization techniques, DenseNet, advanced image processing, hyperparameter tuning, and that is why you see our performance has improved compared to previous studies. Conclusions, we achieved an accuracy of 94%, higher precision, validate the model's effectiveness, and now can be used anywhere in the world. We're not saying only Mombasa. It is generalizable because it can be used anywhere in the world. All right? Recommendations, we need to validate the model using an external. Instead of using the same data set, we are going to try it with different data set. To warn about, are we getting 94% accuracy? If not, we go back and improve on our model and then deploy the model in educational settings for early screening and intervention of dysgraphia in children. All right, that marks the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Madam Amina. As you can see, women in tech, and they are doing serious stuff. You don't have to go to Oxford University. Oxford is here in TUM. So thank you, Madam Amina. Any questions? Any questions? Okay.
Thank you for your presentation. We enjoyed it. And we understood as much as we are not in tech. I'm a lecturer in pure and applied sciences. What I was wondering is, from your presentation, you keep saying, we are going to do this, we are going to do this. But your slides have a past tense like, this was achieved, 94%, this. So I'm not sure if the work has been done or what you're planning to do. Is it something you're planning to do or you've done it already? Or you have? So if you're halfway, I would like you to, it would be nice if you tried it like in actual schools, where you give maybe basic schools. You know, in Kenya, students really suffer in schools at the hands of teachers. Like you said, unaandika kama miguu ya kuku and whatnot. So maybe you can have a forum with the teachers who teach early childhood education or whatnot, and then you give them to try it. Then you see there is... Yes, you get ethical review, but it's nice to do something that actually works and has been tried. There's a gentleman who said you fulfill a need for your business to work, yeah? So you have to fulfill the need. It's not just doing it on paper and presenting it nicely in TUM. Your results or your research should be backed up with, it was tried at St. Augustine School, it was tried at Hamis High School, it was tried at Ganjoni Primary, and these were the results. It worked. The teachers said it helped them. Yeah, I think that would be better.
Okay.
Data set. The next thing now is now to go out to schools. You see, we need to develop it and test it first, and then go out. So we are still here. We haven't reached there. Yeah, we just finished a prediction of dysgraphia and writing analysis. Our next step now is to go out. But the only thing we're waiting is for the ethical review to give us the go-ahead. Yeah. That is our next step. And that is our intention, by the way. I'm a Dysgraphia, and I want to see this thing working. Yeah?
Thank you. Who else?
Hi, thank you for your research. Actually, today I've learned something. I'm not talking as someone who, okay, I'm talking in two categories. I'm also in tech, and I happen to, my ever first job was a volunteer teacher. So there are some students, pupils, I remember failing them because of very bad handwriting. Maybe right now it's when I've realized it is actually a situational problem. So maybe now we can start solving the issue. My point was, there on the way you are saying you will add occupational therapists, I believe you should also add oncologists, people to check the eye problems, if actually the problem is with the eyes, and someone who deals with the brain, just to make sure that the issue is crafted well, because there are some people who actually won't believe the issue is actually very serious if they won't get a proper report. Yeah, you understand how Kenyans work. So if it can be able to be, you can actually, this project of yours can help people in medicine to find a way to diagnose the problem easy. So it's a good project.
To diagnose dysgraphia, it is the latest paper that I've seen. All right, that's a good point. I think we are going to include whatever you just suggested. We want something done thoroughly. Yeah. It's a serious thing, believe me. Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. We move to JT.
Thank you very much, Madam. I'm happy you've done something on dyslexia and dysgraphia. Now, I would like, if it's possible, because we teach kids in Moroto, we have a book club there, and our group is called Sparkling Minds. We go there, we have early childhood mothers, we have children with disabilities, we have children with learning disabilities. And every Saturday, we go there and work with them. And you get others are really struggling. You teach them something today. Tomorrow, everything is dancing on the paper, and they are not able to read. They write upside down. So maybe with your program, I'm humbly requesting, if you can join us there and come and help us, or we use it as a tool to be able to help these kids. Because the ones who are not able to read, and they don't have these problems. We are getting reports from their school, they've improved reading, they've improved their writing, they bring us the reports, they are doing much better. Now I'm looking at this, I know doctors have something that they can detect ADHD, students, children who have that, but in Kenya or most of the time we get the American version of it, but we never get the Kenyan version of it. I'm talking because I'm a mother who has a child who has dyslexia. And it's secondary dyslexia because of being involved in an accident, and that happened. But he's come of age, and we've struggled through it. I think he was the first child in Kenya to ever do KCSE exams using computer. Because I thought, I did what's on your talking, I'm like, this is something. So from there, we decided we'll be going out as a family, and we've gotten people who work with us, and that's when we started Sparkling Mind. And I know they have even enjoined with Technical University. I don't know if you were there last year's graduation. There were kids who were dancing. Those were kids from Moroto, whom we work with, whom we said if we expose them, maybe it will give them an opportunity to look forward to changing their lives. Because we all know what Moroto is. Okay, so every weekend we do reading, book club with them and all that, and I'm listening to you and I'm saying an opportunity, so that another mother cannot have the same problem we had, okay? Because my son was okay until when he was involved in an accident with the dad. When he came up, he couldn't talk for 1 year. When he started talking, he couldn't write. So when you go, you're told he has the secondary dyslexia and dysgraphia. But he's now of age, he struggles to do his things and everything. But if this tool can actually come to life, don't put it on the shelf, okay? Let it work, so somebody somewhere cannot go through the same situation we went through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam JT. That's a very good testimony, and we can see that AI is actually bridging the gap between real-life case study and the solution Madam Amina is bringing. You can respond to her.
Okay, once the tool is ready, I'll let you know. I'm working with my supervisors, and we want to make sure that it works. Because I have dysgraphia, my son too. I remember I told you I'll bring my son's handwriting here, and you'll all run away from this hall. He's a law student, he can't write. Luckily, they're doing online exams. He can't write at all. His handwriting is miguu ya kuku. Now you can imagine. I didn't know. I'm like, sikujua. But now I realized that there's an issue here. I started researching on dysgraphia and learning disabilities. And that is why I decided to do this project. And hopefully I want to make it work, and I'll let you know once it's done. Eh? Thank you so much. Eh?
Okay, no, not yet. This side, please. Oh, okay. One last question on this side, and only two last questions on that other side.
Thank you so much, Madam. That's a well-researched report. My question will be, maybe have you thought of including the parents for those kids? Maybe it is hereditary, something which the students have inherited from their parents. So as you do your research, it will even make it beautiful to continue researching to their parents, because some of our parents are hard on their kids. Maybe it's something you suffered, you as a parent, and you are hard on your kid. No, your kid is suffering with the same thing which you are suffering at that time. So it will be good to involve the parents and also the teachers. As you research with the kids and the students, it will be interesting to see what are the teachers saying and the parents. And a food for thought now, are all doctors suffering from dysgraphia? When you go and you see their medical reports and recommendations, they write with that handwriting. I don't know, they're exempted from that or what?
Okay, thank you. That's a very, very good question. Madam Amina, you can respond.
You see, like in African countries, many of us go undiagnosed. Ni kuchapwa, ukikuwa mdogo, mwalimu anakuchapa, mpaka you lose interest in studying. I can tell you. Even the doctors, it's like everyone has it. That 10 to 30% of the population has that condition. Yeah? The others, like we might be researching on in the future, the dyscalculia, the maths thing. We need to support you see, like my son couldn't write at an early age. I didn't know. Nakaa tu naye, namuonesha, kesho asasahau. Tunasukumana, but I didn't give up. One thing is you shouldn't give up. I did not give up. Natafuta mwalimu, handwriting amsaidie, mpaka form 4 nao mwalimu akaniita, madam, huyu atafanya exam namna gani? Angalia hii handwriting ya huyu mtoto, sasa nifanyeje? I tried, and luckily at least he managed to get low. I'm happy. And now they are doing online exams, nashukuru Mungu kabisa. Because the lecturers will just give him zeros too. Anyway, thank you so much for that. Yeah, we'll involve parents and teachers and the other stakeholders. Thank you so much.
Okay, one last question on this side. This side has been so quiet. I don't know, are you in this hall? Any question, just one question from anyone? From high school students? Yeah. You have any remarks? Okay, so that is okay. So thank you, Madam Amina. That's a very good area of research. Give her a round of applause. Okay, this marks the end of our session. I will give the mic to our host, Mr. Victor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tole. That was very nice, Madam Amina. Dysgraphia is real. Now you can understand mwalimu wa physics na handwriting yake, sio makosa yake. So next we are going to have a launch of the TUM Renewable Club Mentorship, and then thereafter we are having a delegation from HELB. We are also going to hear from them. So I'm going to take this opportunity to welcome the officials for the TUM Renewable Mentorship Club so that they can take the stage.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. I know we are all tired, but we are almost coming to an end of our last day of our conference. So I want to take this opportunity for us to introduce myself. My name is Bibi Mahmoud Juma from Electrical Department. Under the office in Technical University of Mombasa, we have the Directorate of TVET Institute, where we offer short courses, diploma and certificates. In that office, we are running a short course on solar PV grade test, that is T1 and T2. And it's open to candidates that have graduated either with a certificate, diploma, degree in either mechanical or electrical engineering. And it has been sponsored by GIZ and WTS Energy and TUM. So the fees is slightly lower, or it is slashed, since the sponsors pay some amount for you and you just top up a little amount, which is around 7,000. We are having, we are in the third cohort of our training. And in relation to that, we also have a Directorate of Research, REC, Renewable Energy Research Center in TUM. And we want to launch a renewable mentorship club. We all know that everybody in the country or worldwide is talking about climate change, climate issues. We should go green, and renewable energy sources is the way to go so that we can save ourselves from the climate issues that we are having in the world. So today we will be launching our renewable mentorship club under the Directorate of TVET Institute. So I'll take this opportunity to invite the Director TVET, Dr. Michael Derrick Odhiambo, to come and address us so that then we can launch the club.
So thank you very much for coming for this event. At the TUM TVET Institute, like Engineer BBA said, we run all the TVET programs in the institution, but we are also focused on skills, upskilling, retooling, and reskilling. And for the last, since January, we've been running a solar SPV training programs. These programs were actually part sponsored by GIZ, and we also have a team from WTS, and it was there was some monitoring and evaluation was being done by a group from Pamoja Trust, and they're here with us. So the whole idea of this launch is that the trainees of this program, we will be following them up through and through for at least 1 year and try to see, are they getting positions within society? We will be running other programs. Apart from the solar programs, we are also having green hydrogen coming in soon, and we are also partnering with GIZ and the county government of Mombasa to do e-mobility. So very soon, you will start seeing electrical powered vehicles. And at TUM, we are at an advanced stage of setting up a skilling center for the e-mobility, electrical powered vehicles. So I take pride in our first 3 cohorts. Cohort 4 is actually starting next week on Tuesday. We'll be running 7 cohorts for this. The program that we are running currently is normally costed at around 55,000 shillings, but the students are only paying 8,000 thanks to GIZ, WTS, and the TUM collaboration. So today, some of the graduates are here from that cohort. We have some other teams online, I know. So anybody who graduated from the solar program? Nobody? Just stand up so that we can see that you are here. For the cameras and everybody out there to see, this is just about 15 people. We have another almost 75 persons who have graduated on this program. So congratulations to you. I hope you've all gotten jobs, and if you've not gotten jobs, come to me or come to WTS so that we can see what we can do, okay? Thank you very much, BBA. I would want to welcome Madam Mariam from P4T. You bring a message from P4T, who are also our partners in this program. Kindly come and greet us and tell us what you have for us. So the program also has P4T as a partner. P4T is the one responsible for the monitoring and evaluation and making sure that we are doing the correct thing. Karibu sana.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. My name is Maria Momboy. I work for Pamoja for Transformation. We are happy to be here, and I appreciate that you guys attended this. One thing I like to encourage more is that when we are doing the renewable energy, we normally like to encourage the ladies to do the renewable energy. Why? Because this is a male-dominated farm. So with Madam BBA, we normally encourage more ladies to come and do renewable energies, because by the end of the day, we are looking at opportunities, employment opportunities. And when we are looking at that, we are looking at you can be employed and you can still be self-employed. The reason to why we're doing this is because most of the time, the mindset is you will be employed at some point. And we want to change the mindset that anyone can be self-employed and you can be able to employ others too. So thank you for being able to host us, and we will work pamoja inshallah. Shukran.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to explain a bit of why the club, why launch it in TUM, what is our intention, and what will be the first activities of that particular club. So it's a TUM Renewable Mentorship Club. So it's a TUM Renewable Mentorship Club, and it is intended to mentor those who are majoring into the renewable energy courses, including solar, e-mobility that is upcoming, as the director has stated, hydrogen energy that is also going to be upcoming and anchored under the directorate of TVET, so that we can guide these students or graduates from these courses to be able to secure attachment, internship opportunities, and employment in the end. At the same time, our main target or focus, the program anchored under GIZ is We4D, Women for Employment and Development in Renewable Energy. We all know that this field is dominated by male, and we are encouraging female to join this particular venture. So we'll have a mentorship to ensure that the ladies who are pursuing these courses, or the female gender, maintains in the course, completes, graduates, and also be able to survive in the industry, which is male-dominated. So our focus will be mainly to ensure that we assist them in terms of guidance to either be able to cooperate or cope with the biases that are happening in terms of gender in these particular fields. Number 2 goal is under the Directorate of TVET and REC, Renewable Energy Research Consortium, those that will be intending to major in other higher researches in terms of renewable energy. We will assist them in terms of proposal writing, proposal and grants submissions so that they can further their further research in terms of hydrogen energy, biogas, solar, and e-mobility. So I would like to welcome Mr. Cardenio from Pamoja for Transformation. He's just stepped in. He's also one of the partners that are assisting us in this venture. So let us give him a good round of applause as he comes to address us.
Good afternoon. Yeah, like Madam Bibi has indicated, my name is Cardenio Stephen. I work for an organization known as Pamoja for Transformation. This is an NGO that works in partnership with different organizations. And so in this particular context, we are partnering with the Technical University of Mombasa, delivering the renewable energy, supporting the renewable energy courses within the TVET department. One of our most current interest with this institution and the coastal region is to support young people, and biasedly so, female young people, to be able to uptake renewable energy courses. One of the current ones that is being supported is on solar, and we have had different cohorts that have so far trained. I think the 4th cohort is completing this week, and we'll be having a final cohort next week, from next week or the week after, so that at the end of it, we shall have supported the training of up to about 150 of them. Majority of them, 60% should be females, and most critically, something more that we're working on with Madam BBA and some other industry experts is to be able to provide linkages so that they can remain within the job market supporting the renewable energy skills and employment opportunities therein. Besides the solar courses, the organization, in partnership with the university and other partners who have been mentioned, are equally keen to support courses on e-mobility. We have been working on a curriculum that is near completion. Actually, it's due for validation, for accreditation this week. Today, actually, as we speak, a board is meeting to validate that particular curriculum so that it can be effectively delivered in the different TVET institutions. We are having conversations and very optimistic that TUM will be one of those pioneer institutions to also be able to offer the e-mobility course. And so we are very glad and grateful for this particular partnership with TUM. We appreciate so much the leadership through the VC, the director TVET, Dr. Michael, and all the instructors who have been very committed and dedicated to make sure that the students get the best, not only in the classroom, but also in the practical, and now also as the club will get launched, that they can also be able to get hands-on and very practical experience that can be able to sustain the renewable energy sector. Thank you so much, and please join us. Help us to bring as many young people, as many young girls and women to be able to join these particular courses so that we can be able to advance and take advantage of these particular opportunities. Asanteni sana.
That wasn't a very good clap for Steve Cardenio. He's just come in all the way from Nairobi right now. Can we give him a better handy clap? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. BBA?
Victor, can we have the banner here? If you've received a t-shirt, kindly wear it so that we can come at the front and officially launch the club. Please wear your t-shirt and come to the front so that we can officially launch our club.
Come forward so that you can have a group photo. Na usizibe bana yangu nzuri. Okay, some come this side and then the rest on this side. Let the last person be here. Yeah. Another one nyingine kama hiyo moto. Yeah. Wewe usmile wewe. Wacha hizo bana. Okay. Kindly join them. Next. The other side pia msilemee upande mmoja peke yake. Smile jamani. Hey my friend. Nani aliwatandika huku jamani? Public demand. Graduates only. Graduates only, and remember after this session we are having help in the house, so don't go, We recognize your presence. This is the first cohort. There is always a beginning of everything. Thank you. Thank you. Please. Gentlemen, move this side. Bibi, the other side. Thank you very much. Thank you. You smile to the camera. Smile to the camera. Nice, nice. Thank you. So, new team, this is good job. We don't take this for granted.
So we are, before I call one of the students to give us a vote of thanks on behalf of the Renewable Mentorship Club, I would like to put to your attention the first activity of the club. The club intends to make a solar-powered pad vending machine that is going to be benefiting girls from vulnerable societies or humble families. The vending machine will be donated to schools, either primary, high schools, or vocational training or universities. And then all girls, all females will be able to vend a packet of always after every cycle of 28, which will be real-time through either the TUM website or the GIZ website. And then it will be powered with solar. The girls that you are seeing in the photo of our banner is during our training in TUM. So they'll be the ones that will be installing the solar on the pad vending machines and automating them so that we can assist the girl child from the humble communities to be able to be maintained in school so that they cannot stay out of school because they cannot afford a packet of always. All of us know that the economy is very hard and it's very difficult to afford 130 shillings every month, especially from the humble backgrounds, to be able to buy a packet of always. So I would call upon all of you, once we put the link in our websites, you will be able to donate your packet and you will be able to monitor where that packet is being used or dispensed, since it will be monitored real time. So we'll be requesting all of you to support us in this good venture so that we can keep our girl child in school. Sawa sawa. Thank you so much. I'll call upon one volunteer from the team to come and give us a vote of thanks. Lewis.
It's interesting the choice of Lewis, because Lewis was in our cohort 1 and was the first person to be retained by ourselves to support cohort 2 and 3. So Lewis, vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, as you've heard, my name is Lewis. I was part of cohort 1. And I was later retained by WTS to help out with the consequent cohorts. Yeah, I would like to thank everybody that has attended this program and all the students that have been able to arrive given the short notice that you were given. And I don't really have much to say. So thank you to TIP of the accord. P for T, WTS, and GIZ for making this program possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the whole team, Daktari and your team for TVET. God bless you, naanze na mimi. Everybody say amen. Thank you very much. Now, as we prepare for the next program from HELB, I want you to stick around, please. Don't go away. We have a lot. Yeah. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I will ask the staff to leave and those who've come from outside so that we can have, there's a session that is going to be here about health, the dean. Everybody's welcome, even the staff. Oh, but we want to go to break into our afternoon. Yes, for another activity.
You can listen for 10 minutes.
Okay. Since you've been welcome to listen, we shall listen. We never refuse to listen, isn't it? We can learn something new when we are listening. We can be able to spread the word after that so that we are informed. We are in a better place to inform those who are applying next year in September for the help. So kindly just remain seated. When lunchtime reaches, those who are in the team with us in the morning, we can break for our lunch, and then we can come back in the afternoon and join them, okay? Thank you very much. And thank you. Now I have a t-shirt for my son. I'll be telling him about renewable energy and the cohort that is in TUM. I have learned something. And I know now the gentleman, when I see him walking around, I'll be telling him, Mr. Solar, I need solar in my village. Thank you.
So good afternoon. The reason I've said even the staff, even our stakeholders can remain, this is an issue that is affecting all of us. It's good as a parent, as a student, you need to be aware what you need to do, especially when it comes to appeals, yeah, for scholarship and the loans. Okay, so Dean, let me hand over to you, initiate the process.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joel Awino, the Dean of Students.